Having finally arrived in the city of Mirabar, the 3rd Daggerford irregulars set about the task of locating the elusive Straken in order to put an end to his nefarious agenda. Clues surrounding the activities of the Tethered Owl Trading Company lead the party to cross paths with members of the Purple Finch Society. This shadowy organization is not unknown to the irregulars, who have heard tales of Purple Finch members dressed in the Lord's Alliance uniform, burning villages in the protectorate of the Many-Arrowed Orcs in order to fan the flames of war. But the clock is ticking and a shadow looms over all who dwell in Mirabar, the shadow of Zug Tumoy, Demon Queen of Fungus. Your city, some of you were on the balcony, some of you were in the main area of this opulent tavern attached to the central market district. The smell of the cold, crisp smell of the night air comes in, carrying the various consumable goods manufactured by a whole bunch of sellers who are all throughout the marketplace. The jovial sound of trade and packing up of the wares of the day as people start to make their way home, and also bands of drunken youth start coming out in the nighttime. However, you see that the heavy presence of the watch that seemed to be there to discourage stealing has not diminished in the central market. If anything, it feels like there's a sort of sense of casual martial law being imposed, and patrols move through regularly. Again, the same people that we're looking at with the mixed-matched armor that they've bought themselves. They put together their own kit. The militia arm of the Axe of Mirabar. And you guys have just seen, leaving the tavern, this Oran Hess, who you were previously talking to in the tavern and arguing with about the relationship between humans and dwarves in this potentially tense situation. And he had grabbed a purple coin pouch with a golden tablet upon it, upon which it had engraved a finch, and ran out to join a group of friends that August Sparrow had learned were doing some sort of late night dealings around the city near the dock end of the south side of the city. And then you returned.
Yeah, just refresh my memory with regards to Spear. You had an argument with Oren Hess.
That's right.
And I think it was predominantly regarding the dwarvish response to the siege.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the whole kickoff was because you lied and said you came through the dwarvish tunnels into the city.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to refresh my memory. Not because we didn't want to tell them that we flied on a
nightmare. Yeah, not that we had subjected a demon beast to our will using a ritual.
And
we arrived into a holy place and lied to all of the priests therein about how
up until the lying part, I pretty much did all of that stuff, and then the lies started. I don't know. I would have owned it.
We didn't lie that much. I think we just
decided not to talk about the situation.
Yeah, I don't think that's lying.
But we're now.
But there was also the earlier attempt to land, which also caused quite a fiasco, I believe, in town. So
probably better that we don't remind them about the black flying steed that we may or may not have arrived on.
Uh-huh. It's just the consequence about this dwarvish malarkey and people thinking that there's still passage in and out of the dwarvish into the town.
No, you're right. We probably haven't necessarily helped the situation.
And the dwarves have plans to help the humans in action. They just haven't told them about them yet.
Well, we have no idea.
No, but you've said that.
Well, no, we didn't.
Well, no. We said that the dwarves had sent you to help them.
Yes.
That was their
plan.
Which
we're here to do. We're here to help.
Yeah.
We're the help now.
Yes.
We're the dwarvish help.
Yes. Well, we won't put any dwarves on the spot.
Helping is its own reward.
All right.
There just seems to be some kind of tension in the town that the dwarves are going to close off the tunnels and no longer supply the town with the rations they need to continue to wait out the siege.
So anyone involved in this conversation, and I'm just going to assume that you've all reconvened at this point, You were not in a hurry to run off anywhere, so instead you've all kind of taken up a lounge space, dropped another 2 gold for some more drinks and some snacks for yourselves.
I will hop back from my rendezvous.
So the Axe's Embrace is
Like
where we're meeting
the preened, flightless raven that I am.
guard off duty. coming up to
At
you.
midnight, that's in about an hour.
But it's here at the Axe's Embrace.
It's just, yes. Or nearby. It is at another tavern, which is, it was, I believe the Axe's Embrace was actually the name of the tavern he asked to meet you at.
Okay.
Which is not this one. This was not named, but we shall name it, and we call it the Central Market Bazaar.
Okay. Bazaar spelled with a H.
Huzzah. You call it the Harpers.
Type that in.
The Axe's Embrace, however, was a lower end
Axe
course.
and Axe's Embrace or Axe and
Brace.
Brace?
Axe's Embrace.
Aha.
We're right.
There you go.
Alright.
So
Oh,
get
sorry.
shuffled.
No, it's fine.
We're not wrong. We're not hearing things.
So the Axe's Embrace is where you were going to meet this guy, and that is closer to the dock ends.
Less convenient.
Yeah. And as Gus is pointing out, on the way to where we need to go, and both temporally and spatially.
I think it'd be good because if you get a hold of this potion and it turns out to be one of the tainted poisons, then that gives us a bit more of a guide too.
And if it doesn't, you've got a useful pick-me-up. Just a little something to get you through the raid.
Yeah. Yeah. we
Raid,
could-
huh?
I think we should try to get to the warehouse
Yes.
relatively quickly.
Maybe the martial
wanna
heavy
write
hitters.
I could probably just go and case the joint, except
No, let's
some communications afterwards would be...
split
I
the
can't
party.
yell that loud.
It's only going
I
to take a little while. I don't think you'll be there for that
Yeah,
long.
I
You're
think
just
we should be
picking up
fine.
Oh, as soon as that guy comes in with the potion, if he's got it, then you just need to run your detect spawners.
Yes, I do.
You can do a little bit of a trick with the fire. I'll juggle some
That is
daggers. We'll be on our way. It'll be fine.
Huh?
So
It's a
you're still a
flying
raven
one.
and
They
you're
can
still
only
sitting on
fly.
me. Is that right? We're having this
I'm
conversation.
raving on. Because I'm not allowed in the pub, remember?
So you've only got mimic. You can't speak. You've actually got to copy different voices every time.
Yeah, I'm copying your voice.
Oh,
This is what it
that's
sounds like.
hurtful.
You should hear yourself.
Recordings played back on a Magic Mouth always sound weird.
Mage Hand is a cantrip, buddy.
So is pooping.
Oh.
No, I think you'll find that pooping is not a cantrip. It's just a regular trick.
All right.
Yeah. Short rest recharge, I think.
Mhm.
Well, look, it was getting quite late anyway. We
Yeah.
should probably start.
Let's
getting
head
this
over to the
moving
Axe
and
Embrace.
meet this guy.
Oh yeah, no, we
Axes
should.
Some
Also, it's been a pretty large day, and even though you were previously on a night sleeping cycle, you kind of slept your way back into kind of a regular cycle. So you'll probably be comfortable staying up till about 2 before you start to experiencing some level of fatigue.
What about if we have short little meditation cat naps?
Well, for all the elves in the party, I think that will be absolutely fine.
Just exercising the elf privilege.
You've probably got 4 hours between now and showtime, anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can just go on ahead and find
Sorry,
a
I
little
was-
corner to sleep in.
Totally listening to what you guys were saying. It wasn't just that my eyes glazed over.
Uh-huh.
Can you get in on this pretend sleeping thing too?
I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. I don't think. I haven't
But
used it.
you still need time for a short rest, though, right?
No, we're saying we can have a long rest.
Yeah.
4 hours.
Long
But don't
for
you
you.
need to?
Yeah, there's still an 8-hour period
Yeah.
You
that's
still have to
required.
take an 8-hour period. It's just that 4 of them you can be vaguely cognizant of what's happening.
We can spend the other 4 hours just being basically better than other people.
It's just generally
No,
what
that's,
makes you
better
better
than
than
useful.
everyone.
What you do is you walk around in an elvish torpor. People lead you around and pose you into positions, You're conscious for it. But,
How is that not better than other people? Couple of shop mannequins for 4 hours a day and get a little bit of side hustle.
That's why all of the elves are
Actually,
always so
just-
well dressed.
Yeah.
Walk out with the clothes. You don't even pay for them.
Yep.
At
Stand
least
there
that's what
long
Grandmama
enough for someone
told me
dresses
back
you.
in the Halfling Forest.
Well, did we want to,
Surprisingly wise woman.
take a little short rest? So we can maybe stave off the fatigue. So it
We
doesn't-
should have a
Well,
short
you've
rest
only
at the
got
Axis
midnight
Embrace.
before you need to. You only
Yeah.
have an hour
An hour.
before you need to meet this guy at the Axis Embrace at this point.
And then we have 3 hours before the next thing. Isn't
2.
it 3 or
Because
2?
we're meeting at. Are we meeting
We're
midnight
meeting-
or 1?
Well, we're meeting him a bell after his shift ended at midnight, which I understood. So we're meeting him at 1 and this thing goes down at 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I propose,
Down on Tapestry.
I don't get this nice halfling porch without a taste for finer things. I propose we go to the Axis Embrace early, settle into a luxurious booth, order some tapas and some drinks, and we take our short rest there, waiting for the guy to rock up. And when he comes with the potion or whatever, hey, so sit down, blah blah, do the thing. We've still got some time to kill.
We should also probably organise rooms for the night.
We're not going to be sleeping, and then we're going to be going from this to the docks,
It might just
rolling
be.
like heavy hitters.
There might
we
be
want a
nothing.
time frame.
We do want to roll into them after the docks, though.
I want to go to bed.
Okay.
It's going down today, though. Let's after we do. Okay,
Let's go to
Look,
the
I'll-
Axis
I can
Embrace
pick you
and we
up.
can figure
Pop
out the
you on my
rest
shoulder,
from
you
there.
can
We
have a
don't
little
need to
nap
make
with
the
your head
whole
under
plan
it.
now.
Yeah, that sounds
Alright.
great.
we're walking, right? We're doing this as we're walking.
Okay, you're making your plan as you're walking. You've
Yeah.
left, you've settled your bills, and you move along your way. As you move through the marketplace, you see people packing up as you go through, and suddenly the night air and the relative activity and silence is shattered as a bunch of market stalls just explode nearby, and bits and pieces. Everybody can make will saves.
Ooh.
Yep.
That's alright.
22.
It's just DC 15, guys.
Wait, Will is in wisdom?
Wisdom
Wisdom.
is
16.
Oh, 7.
I'll tackle Thea out of the way of an explosion.
So everybody who failed is like immediately startled and sort of falls to the ground. There's sort of bits of wood and basketry and fruits and dried fruits and goods just start flying through the air. People start screaming and running. You sort of all kind of look at the days. The you who don't, you sort of look around and you see that something has landed heavily
Something.
in
It's
the,
a horse.
Guys, it's something!
in the middle of the marketplace, and there is, apart from just the general chaos, there is a horrible putrid stench that now fouls the marketplace.
Oh.
Everyone, I
Can
see
I-
something that's landed here! Do you see it too?
Is there, any description of the something?
Oh, I've seen it. I've seen this before. You don't look too closely.
Do you guys want to get closer?
No, you don't want to get closer.
I'll...
Al says, yeah, I'm approaching the
Yeah, I'll-
something.
Yeah.
I'm moving
Right.
towards
So
the
you're looking up,
horrible
and
stuff.
you can make medicine rolls. Anyone who wants to get close.
No, I'm just tissing at the shocking
sure.
waste of produce and basketry. I'm just
Yep.
like,
I'm all over this.
Oh, haven't they been like launching
sorry,
dead
19.
carcasses over the?
oh, this is like
7.
rotted livestock or a dead
19.
horse.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys go, what the hell? Just like hunks of mutilated, mangled flesh that seem to have almost liquefied as if smashed into the ground on its intense trajectory. But you sort of look over and you sort of kick off a sort of waylaid
You're
basket,
interacting with the pile.
and you see
Oh.
and you see the top half and skull and sloring flesh of an ogre's head is sitting there. So it seems like some
This feels
old
like a mixed
decayed
message
ogre
that's
is
come
now.
from the orcs.
Herbie, I would like to steel myself momentarily and then look specifically at this hunk of meat for signs of tuberous growths. Right? Is there a heads up that these things are dying from the spore plague, or is this just regular war meat?
Give me a medicine roll.
It's just your everyday
Spare,
woman.
rotting ogre head.
At this point, a bunch of guards, the Axe and Mirabar guards, have come over and go, clear the way, everybody stay away.
Oh, with
All the
pleasure.
diseased area must be cordoned.
Oh.
Who was touching it? Was that you, Gus?
No,
That's
I'm on
Saria.
your shoulder.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Saria, telepathically with my halfling magic speaky, I'm going to say, is there spore meat in them? Is there spore meat?
Is there spore meat in them?
Medicine roll. So your first roll was to identify what it was.
I could have told you.
7.
You don't seem to recognize any tuberous growths that you've seen before amongst the discolored, moldering flesh that is issuing some vile aromas
Right,
into your
let's-
environment.
Alright.
Do you want to unicorn that?
There's nothing I can see in here. Let's, I think we can get out of here pretty safely.
No, I don't know.
Warehouse district is looking better and better.
It's the meat.
If technically,
Mm-hmm.
one might argue that an ogre is edible. Could I actually cleanse this with purified food and drink?
Bon appetit,
I mean, I guess
boys.
you'd have to be purified, decaying organic matter.
It's like hunting. Only
Would
if
be
you promise to eat it.
yeah. Technically, you could purify rotting meat so that it could be consumed.
And then you
Well,
eat
maybe
it.
I just want to potentially stop the spread of disease.
Mhm.
It'll take me 10 minutes to put a nail on this one.
Can I
They're
help?
looking to usher you away.
Oh,
So the
alright.
guards are trying to
Look,
clear the
I'm
scene,
not feeling like
and
fighting
not
that
just
one.
the immediate area where it landed, but
Yeah.
within a larger area.
I'll step off his shoulder.
No, get back here, Magic Raven, and
You start to see that there are bits of like ogre within like 100 feet of where
Oh,
it landed.
don't tread in that.
somebody else's problem, friends.
Stay
Oh.
back.
we can clear this up. Oh, mighty wizard.
Yeah, but it's a ritual for me and for you too, probably. That's
he can fix it.
who can fix it.
You.
You've been thrown under that car.
So you join the group of standers-by who will just start to sort of flock around the cordon that's being created by the axe of Mirabar.
Can't you just burn it? Isn't that how you get rid of pestilence sort of stuff?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we can fix it.
Why did you suggest fire?
You can't.
He loves his
Excuse me,
bonfire.
Mr. Guard.
Oh yeah, sorry, you gotta clear the area.
I
It's
am
potentially
the
dangerous. We don't...
Archmage, witch kicked.
Give me a performance roll.
Magnificent witch kick.
Does he remember? Was he one of the ones on before? No.
I
I
have
will aid
some
with
manner of
his performance.
expertise in creating bonfires that may help to purify this problem.
You just create a random
Just
button.
right next to both of us, and then I warm my hands.
They sort of like, oh, shit. Sure. Well, let us just scrape it into a central pile first.
Teamwork.
And they start pulling out these large shovels, a small handcart. You see a group of people emerge from the far northern end of the market, and it seems to be a group of people, including one priest and a bunch of sort of just roughly dressed commoners who are carrying a handcart, which is full of shovels and rakes, and a large vat of something that smells a lot like vinegar as they pull the waxen seal off the top of this clay pot.
Something for chips.
Smells better than the meat.
And they start to just scoop it all together and sort of get just everything, all of the food produce, all the bits and pieces, anything that could have even potentially been contaminated. They're just shoveling into the center and then liberally sprinkling vinegar around sort of the outsides of the markets and anything that might have been touched as well. Scrape it into a central pile over the next 15 minutes. And you guys wait around.
Is there
I
anyone
take it.
taking advantage of the chaos to look like they're doing anything slightly dodgy?
Of course.
Make a perception roll.
Yeah, 19.
Yeah, you see two types of people. There are more of those younger, derelict youth types
that's
who
fine.
just seem to be looking to take opportunities to steal goods from market holders who were not paying enough attention to their stock as
living.
they were packing up. And then there are other people who seem to be like more sort of cowled, hooded people who are sort of like scurrying out and taking lumps of ogre flesh that haven't been seen and putting it into little baskets
Excellent.
and then scurrying away with it.
Okay. I'm gonna surreptitiously mention to Thea and Saria, and probably everyone aside from the amazing
Only the elves. Just the elves. Just, excuse me, fellow elves, not you, ruffian.
guys. We have some people taking some souvenirs for distribution. Over there.
You see two.
Woods. Two
People in
There.
particular.
and there. So, let's split up and jump on these.
Alright.
Three-way party split.
Exactly. You guys perform your tricks. One person grab the arms, the other one work the body.
Great at the thuggery.
Sorry, what exactly are you doing?
I'm just pointing them out to these people.
Okay,
Let's-
so
let's
you
tackle
guys,
these.
everyone
Sell it
else
like
can
a
make a
true
perception
noble.
roll, DC 10 now.
I have to.
Except for Bernard, who's very excited about setting this light on fire.
You've missed a patch here!
I've answered my calling!
10.
14.
Yeah, I'm not.
3.
Alright, so you...
Right over there.
You
Where?
need a spotting button.
You're paying too much attention to
And
my
I
show.
just see
It's-
someone
it's
else. I'm like,
fascinating.
it's clearly that guy.
Yeah, clearly that dodgy looking guy over there with the barrel strapped under his arm. Oh, he's got something going on with that barrel. But the rest of you notice the people that Peral points out. And what would you like to... So Bernard is preoccupied at the moment. He seems to be getting along very well. They're really happy to have this great mage helping them with the burninating of all the ogre parts. As this pestilent flesh is being burned and cleansed, as it were. So you've seen these people, and they were sort of within, obviously, 100 feet of where the ogre landed. And there are two of them who have put the lumps of flesh in the basket and run sort of different directions.
Okay.
Split and tail?
Yeah.
Alright.
So who is going after, let's say, the northern person, and who's going after the southern person?
Am I closest to? South. Go south.
So yeah, take spear. Go after that one.
Where are we
Okay,
going?
the other one.
Are we going
Okay,
after
no.
that guy with the barrel?
No, not that
Looks shifty.
Hang on, these
scary.
these two, he just sent you off on a. These two are going on their first solo
Quest.
Solo quest.
Well, they did say they were going to go down earlier.
So
Sleep
Peral
well.
and Sayu run to the north, yes?
Yes.
And Thea and Spear and August?
Oh, I'm sitting on that guy's head.
Bernard.
Familiaring it like
Yeah.
You're
being
free to
familiar.
go because I would not notice if you were there or not.
Oh.
No, really, I'm just.
No, I'm just saying that's how into this. That's how into this fire thing is. Look, don't harsh my
Jeez.
moment. I'm into it. I'm just in fire zone.
In that case, I just sort of step back off his head,
Feel the burn.
like turn completely back into myself, give his head a ruffle, and then go with these guys.
Chaperone.
I just you turn from Raven on my out.
I just, like,
slowly
It's
climb
gonna be
off.
like
such a
offer it's just my
romantic
hand on your
situation.
head,
Weird. That's
and then
Alright.
I give you head a
So
ruffle.
for each
walk
group,
away.
I want one person with advantage, because you have help from the rest of the group, to make a perception roll to try and stay on this person's trail.
I have +5.
You're
Advantage.
You have
Probably the one
advantage.
That is a.
Oh,
Oh,
alright.
never mind.
Oh, sorry,
what
I have
you're
+6.
looking for.
Okay,
yeah, that's fine.
That's 23.
We'll accept that.
And what do you have on the other side?
18.
Alright, cool.
Solid.
What's your position?
So
0.
you guys give chase. You start running along, and this person looks around. You guys aren't being particularly stealthy. No. It seems like they notice you after a couple of blocks, and they start to run in earnest. They duck into an alley and start making their way through. But you sort of move through, and running. Who's leading the charge? It's you. Yeah. And you're like looking around. You're going quick down that alleyway, and you get to the end of the first alleyway at the turn, and then you look around, and they are nowhere to be seen.
Shit, we 23 perception.
Invisibility.
Hold on, can I? Okay. If they're nowhere to be seen, does anyone have any sort of spells or anything that can like we look at walls and buildings like?
Yep. So you want to examine the. So you take some time to examine this alley.
Yep.
Yep. All right. Cool.
Entire party runs away from the Archmage, and then you ask if there's anyone with spells.
Just a
I
reminder.
just
All right,
the wrong
Spear
type
and
of
Thea.
spell.
So you guys start stalking this person down the street. After a little while, Spear, you
Figure out who we're
figure out
talking
who it is we're talking about. Yeah.
That guy. I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it all along.
and it's a person, they're wearing very rough clothes, sort of like hooded, and they've got this sort of basket which is old and worn and a bit of red cloth. They don't seem to have been able to paid attention to you, and you've caught up to them to within distance. They're just moving down one of the side streets, not yet ducked into an alley or out of sight. They haven't noticed you. So how do you want to play this?
I feel like you're the stealthy one.
I probably am. I have less shiny armor.
Scream, notice me, senpai.
You're within you're within
Thinking I could
30
pass
feet of them at the
thinking it's
moment.
not
So if you
really
ran,
noticeable.
you could catch up to them and be right there if you wanted to be. But otherwise, you're at walking pace. They're at walking pace.
Yeah, I reckon I'd just run and catch up because you're not going to be able to be stealthy, and if I can at least pause.
Well, yeah, I
Them
guess our
there.
options here are either to try and follow him and see where he goes, or to engage now. And Spear would probably want to engage now, but I think I'm going to take the lead since this seems to be, this isn't my usual way of
I don't
operating.
know. I don't think we can't risk losing this guy with all that diseased
Okay,
flesh.
we're going to run up, grab him.
Run up.
Okay, run up. So as you run up, like, no stealth going on there. Just
No,
suddenly.
Not even an attempt.
All right, cool. Give me an attack roll.
Okay.
It's probably just some poor commoners who's just like willing to eat rotten flesh.
14?
Okay, cool. Yeah.
We don't want to kill them, right? We just want to
Not
question
wearing any
them.
extensive amount of armor and just being like, for all intensive purposes,
I'm not
a
trying to kill him, by the
ordinary
way. I'm trying
person.
to,
No,
like,
but you
grab-
are going in and doing a
grappling.
grapple.
Yeah.
So you've gone in and you grappled the person. They're like, ah! And they struggle to hold on to what it is they have, but they fail. The basket falls out of their hands, and the cover comes off, and you see this sort of half of a hand and a couple of fat fingers roll out the side. A few people in the immediate environment are like, whoa, what? Start looking, but they don't register what exactly has happened. So Thea, have you run up as well?
Yep.
And are you helping to restrain this person?
It's perfectly restrained, but I'm going to start questioning. What are you doing with this? This is disease. You should leave it to be dealt with.
They seem cagey and scared. It's like, it's a young man, probably about 17 years old, wearing relatively simple clothes, if dirty and decrepit. It's just, I'm just getting a meal for my family.
This is a very strange choice of a meal. This is diseased. You know it's diseased.
Oh, that's not mine. Somebody else must have dropped it.
I'm going
to start squeezing him tighter.
Okay, so contested strength roll, please.
Okay. 19.
No, 21 year old actually are athletics.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
I will
Athletics,
crush
okay.
the truth
21.
out of you.
I'm gonna ask quite forcefully, tell us why you've taken this.
He's goes quiet, just starts looking around and says, "Help! God! God's help!"
I cast detect thoughts.
Oh,
Ooh.
I have some sort of spell here, people.
Oh,
I'm gonna.
I'm not sure how it's going to work.
it's done. Look at that.
some
Must
people
have
have
had
things
some
other than
spell
cantrips.
slots. Yeah, look at that.
Burning him.
what does he make a roll, or do you just roll?
One action. It's an attack save, wisdom 13.
Okay, fails.
Duration, you can read the thoughts of certain creatures when they cast a spell on your action. On each turn until your spell ends, you can focus your mind on any one creature you can see within 30 feet of you.
All right, so you focus your mind on this guy, and you see his face and his surface thoughts start to come to the fore. The first thing that comes into his mind is the, "Oh no, not her again,"
Oh!
thinking of Spear. And then, but when you hear that thought, it doesn't seem like a single thought. It seems like a concert of thoughts. And then at that point, as you start to dive deeper, more and
Hive
more
mind.
thoughts start coming into your consciousness. So give me a wisdom saving throw at this point to try and
While they're
decipher
onto us.
the
You've got a point of
bombardment.
inspiration if you need to use
True,
it,
we're
which
onto
gives you
them.
advantage.
Does it? I probably should, because I just rolled a 4. I might use my inspiration.
Okay, yep.
To reroll that 4.
Yeah, let's see if I can get more than 4. Nope, 4!
It was meant to be.
Okay.
Inspiration is actually a D8.
Is
Okay.
it? Oh,
Oh.
good. I'm glad you're
Oh,
here.
that's
Rolls
exciting.
for me. So I rolled that one. Oh, it's not
So
going
it's
to
gonna
make
be
it that
more
much
than
better, but
four.
it's
It'll be
better than a 4. It's
5.
5!
And do you get any bonus to your wisdom saving
Wisdom
throw?
saving throw.
Yes. No.
Okay,
Why? You might
yeah,
have
nice.
wisdom saving throw. It's doing something back to you.
Because there's
Yeah.
just all of these thoughts rolling into my head. And
Okay,
I
so
haven't
it's-
done this before.
Oh.
What it does is it creates a certain sense of noise. What you do manage to discern from it is that there is something else behind all of these thoughts, some greater thoughts, some greater mechanism that you're being guarded from by this bombardment of thoughts from a bunch of different people. And furthermore, that this person is scared of you and is not in their right mind and is not necessarily in control of their own thoughts.
So some greater mechanism is controlling them and can't.
Yeah. How long does this spell last for?
It's up to 1 minute. That's my concentration.
Okay, cool.
Concentration.
You can make another sort of wisdom saving throw in the next round if you like.
Okay.
So you're still in his mind. It's just and Spear. You see her. She's like concentrating on him, and then but you're not sure what she's doing.
I have no idea what's happening, but I will cover his mouth with my hand.
Okay, cool. So he gives me another strength roll. So you get to athletics roll, that is, to hold him.
18.
Cool. Yeah, you like continue to pin him further, and even lift him up off the ground a little bit. His little legs are like.
D2 wedgie.
In the meantime,
I'm just gonna smile at anyone walking past. Yes,
you- So one of the people they're looking on and they're like, "What's going on here? God!" They look like they're trying to respond to what this guy's saying. It's like, yeah, we should call the guards. And somebody rushes off, but that person looks important.
Play the Lord card.
Yeah, I'm gonna play the Lord card. Be calm. We caught this man stealing some diseased flesh, and we are concerned about the contamination. We have controlled it. Just stay calm
Okay,
and keep your
persuasion.
distance.
Let's go about your lives.
Well, there's inspiration ready to be spent.
Oh
there.
yeah, I might try my
you know,
inspiration.
no,
Oh no, I
it's
can
a
put
D8.
the right, D8 on the 10.
I think it's a D8. Is it D8?
Depends how inspired someone gave it to you.
Oh, a 6, so it's 16.
Okay, they're like,
Well,
yeah,
that's
well,
what you
that's what we'd expect from those refugees. There's no telling who amongst them are just trying to get in here and poison our wells. Yeah, that's right. And my aunt came down with a stomach bug last week. It could have been from all of these people poisoning our wells as well. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, good job you're doing. But we'll get the guard over here anyway so that they can deal with this situation and aid you in putting this person in prison. And you do see a lantern on a pole further down the street, probably in about 4 or 5 rounds. The guards will be here. There is a pretty heavy guard presence in this city. They've just drummed up extra
Not a bad
support
thing.
from volunteers to try and fill out the ranks and keep it on to curfew.
Hurry up.
Hold him
Guards
while
are coming.
So Thea, you're sort of like, you sort of fade away, your eyes are sort of like rolling up in your head. One hand is to your head and the other is sort of wafting above his forehead, and he's like, what? And you can see he's not just actively resisting you now, Spear, but he seems to be actively resisting whatever it is that Thea is doing. So Thea, let's do a contested will save, or wisdom save. A wisdom roll.
Alright.
Yeah, doing
Yeah, I need my curse dice.
Plus
Wisdom
0.
save. Plus 0. 9.
Sweet.
Well, it beats his 8.
He's got curse dice too.
Okay, so at this point, you sort of like just sit central, center yourself, and focus. And then there are a bunch of different thoughts going on. So you have like 4 other streams of thought that you can identify, and then 2 other sub-rhythms that are beneath the surface thoughts. Which of those would you like to access?
There's. Yeah, I reckon the
Get the
deeper ones are
baseline.
the ones that are the ones. The puppet master.
Okay, so there are two distinct signals. Would you like to take the left hand
Or the
or the
box.
right hand?
The right hand.
So you push
Was
through
it
the
red or blue?
thoughts.
Red or blue?
You push through the thoughts, and you get to the stream. And in the stream, you feel the same sense of mind that you originally sought when you used the scroll earlier,
Oh.
and you recognize that you're in Straken's mind. And Straken seems to be contemplating a few things. First, he is intrinsically connected to whatever it is this other underlying force was. And second is that his mind is pretty serene and contemplated and pushed down a single focus. And that single focus is to destroy all humanoid life and all intelligent life, so that it can all be taken back to nothingness and be reborn. Immediately, however, Straken is... So we'll get another point. We'll get another roll, because it'll go to another round. And again, he's going to try and outstrength you, Spear, so a contested strength roll.
11.
Yeah, that beats you 7. Alright, and so please another wisdom roll, contested wisdom roll.
Can I get double digits?
I believe in you.
I believe in you.
18!
Oh, wow. Alright, so you continue your investigation, and are you going to keep focusing on Straken's mind?
Yes.
All right.
Because that's the main. These guys are just puppets. I need the puppet.
What about the fungal symbiosis that he has? The artistry.
Another one.
So there is the other
Yeah.
subdermal thing, but you can either concentrate more on his thoughts and find out more detail about what he's thinking and where he is right now, or you can identify what his other line of thought is.
Well, it's your call. It's a big decision.
Well, I want to find the circuit.
Were you assuming that he's wearing the circlet?
Yeah. So if I find out where he is, I'm gonna cut off
So
the
you're
head of
single
the.
from
You gotta-
to an end.
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah,
cut the head of the
it's circle.
scorpion off, right? Is that? I don't know. When there's a saying about something.
No, it's
Yeah.
a choice. You
Let's
make
go.
it.
It's all about
Strasbourg.
feeling.
It's gonna hurt more.
Alright, so his surface thoughts are very preoccupied with organizing a particular warehouse right now. So he is in a location. He's thinking about the interior of the location and making sure there's going to be enough room there to store a certain amount of goods. He's thinking about, in particular, whether or not Oran Hess has been serving him well enough, and whether or not Oran Hess is worthy enough of being inducted into the inner circle. And then he turns to look at you, and you feel his thoughts focus on you extremely, and then all things start to lock out. At which point he is going to try and sort of post wisdom roll, please.
13.
At which point you hear, "Get out!" and you're thrust back into your mind. And you're back in the street, and you see that these guys, the town guard, are probably about 60 feet away at this point.
Leave him to the town guard. He's just a puppet.
Okay. Well,
Straken's at a warehouse. It could be the same one we're aiming for. It's all connected.
Can we just, as a group, discuss how...
You're not
We're
there
not
right
there.
now. You're not there right now.
Just as
You're
a
busy.
table-
Fires!
It's
Setting
your
fires to
career
things.
now.
It's just, like, what just happened now? It's like...
well, we should wait for the guard to arrive. We'll hand him over.
Yes, and then we need to go back to the others. We need to move to this warehouse now. I think that's where he is.
Okay, meanwhile, you start scouring through this alley.
While they're scouring, I'm going to go up on the buildings and see if
Okay,
he's
so-
gone up.
So you do a climb. Give me an athletics roll. Or acrobatics if you prefer.
Acrobatics will be fine. 21.
Cool. So you scamper up like 2 floors of the building. You get up to sort of roof level. And you can look down the alley. Give me a perception roll.
Bag of green.
So there's so much for that. There's nobody obviously making their way across the rooftops. My perception was 6.
No one is obviously making their way across the rooftops, and you get a better view at length down the various alleys, and you can't see anyone moving down there either. You two, however, start scouring through the alley. Give me investigation checks, guys.
Can I give advantage?
Yes,
to
you can
Gus?
give advantage to Gus.
That is a 15.
All right. You look around. You can't see anyone. You sort of, like, pull things off, waiting for someone who might have had like a minor illusion spell to be like, "Oh, it was just an illusion. I'm hiding in a barrel the whole time. That was an illusion."
Clever move. Clever move.
But instead, you sort of turn away one box from the side of an alley wall, and you look and you see that there is a flagstone that seems to be a bit loose.
Ah, a sewer adventure. It's been a while.
Should send your snake down there.
I'm not sure the snake could fit down that sewer. Have you seen the size of this thing?
Yeah, if this person's somewhere down there, the snake just goes.
Yeah, kill the snake.
Turn back into a stick.
Anyway, let's
Um,
toss the
Well,
flagstone
it
off.
seems to be relatively easy to sort of move aside. It's like a 2 foot by 3 foot stone, so quite large. You sort of like heft it up with Sarya's help, and some dry but not dank air comes up. It's like definitely a bit devoid of oxygen, but it doesn't seem like it's particularly, damp or moldy, as it were. And you look down, and it's dark. It's pitch black. This alley itself is quite dark, but you
what
have
do
night
my
vision.
elven eyes see?
Your elven eyes sort of peer in, and it seems like just a pretty narrow, pretty small, like standard dwarven service hatch, sort of a rudimentary entry-level sewerage grate. So it's like 2 feet of walkway on either side of what seems to be like probably a 3 feet deep channel, beneath which refuse is being taken. So it smells pretty clean at the moment, though. It's winter, it's been a lot of rain here and there, so it's not too filthy.
Okay, just want to, I put my head in the tunnel, close my eyes, and listen, see if I can hear running down one end or the other. Do those little as would echo through a sewer.
As would echo through a sewer, yeah, you're listening, but unfortunately you do not hear any padding.
Do we want to go down here, or?
I mean, we can take a look, but sewer adventures, right? That's
Maybe another day.
it's a sewer, and there's 2 ways to go. And once you're in that little tunnel, there's like a few of them, and they're just like, it's not going to be great.
Alright, well, shall we take note of where this is and maybe come back?
We can come back with other people. I mean, dodgy with the whole rotting flesh
Should we
thing.
ask Peril? I feel.
I'll
Oi, Peril!
Make my way back down.
So you slide down.
Oh, that is disgusting.
We
look.
figured that you should go down and take a look.
Oh,
got
we
those
figured,
elven
did we?
eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got those elven eyes.
You know who else has those elven eyes? Saya.
But you're obviously so
Yeah,
much.
but-
You're noble. Your noble eyes would
Oh, that-
see better, surely.
Purple's got to count for
son of
something,
a
right?
bitch. Look, we've got a warehouse to raid. And
Pop down.
Frankly,
I'll pop you down.
look, I'll jump down for a quick look.
Alright, so you stick your head in, or you're going to jump in?
I'll climb on down.
Okay, you climb on down. The first thing that hits you is the smell.
Yep.
It is not as bad as you would expect, but it is definitely worse than elven sewers. Dwarves obviously don't know how to scent their water correctly. And their
You've gotta eat it
diet,
in
human
advance.
diet, probably contributes a whole lot to the smell of the detritus that's currently flowing through here. But it is still relatively clean by comparison. You think this is all getting a lot of flow from both the river and the drainage systems that exist in the city. And you peek around.
Okay.
Give me a perception roll.
Nope, this person's gone. Tried my best. 13.
Yep. Yeah, you look around.
Land speed records.
Yeah, look, you can't see much, even in this light. It still only counts as dim light, even though you have elven vision.
Yep.
And you're not seeing more than sort of 30 to 60 feet ahead
Oh,
of you.
that's a shame. I'm going to climb up.
So, how'd you go?
He gone. Like,
Well, I'm so glad you went down to. I told you we should have got a second opinion.
Well, you know, we can't expect a noble to really have the skills to be crawling around little secret passageways.
Well, that's
or
what
doing
I said.
anything, you know.
they clearly, you know,
But I guess
August
you've won
was
this
mistaken.
one. I reach into my pocket and I take out a copper and I give it to you.
To me.
Yeah, guess you won that one.
Right, let's go.
Don't need that. It's coinage. It's been on people's hands.
It's been in Gus's pocket.
Okay, you
Yeah,
guys make
that's
yourself.
it.
It's been in my
Gus's
pocket.
Did you guys make your way back to the central markets in time to see Bernard burning the last of the... Bernard burns the last of the refuse that's been scraped onto a pile, and the guard's like, thank you so much. Really appreciate your help.
Somehow
Like,
this is worse.
it really, really helps when members of the general public can give us a hand. Hey, look, we're having a few drinks later at the Axe's Embrace. If you want to come join us.
I plan to be there in about an hour. I was actually heading on my way down there now early.
Yeah. Well, look, if you get in the right way, we might be able to put in a good word, and you could come on board with the militia. It pays pretty well, and to be honest, you're going to get perks like priority rations, priority food.
I'm the Archmage Witch Kicked. I believe in magic in service to the community. We shall find ways to work together, and I hold my fist up for a fist bump.
He's like,
Oh, is he
yeah! He just like holds his hand up in the air in some kind of fist salute. Yeah, the community! I love the community.
No, it's a fist bump, bro. You, like, touch the...
What? It's a bit weird. Why would you do that? I'll just give you a hug instead. Oh, little guy. He rubs your head. Meanwhile, you, Spear, and Thea.
I'm running back. This is important. We need to go
Well,
now.
the guards are coming up to you,
Yes, yes.
and they're like, "What's going on? We heard that you caught somebody who's trying to poison the wells."
He's stealing all this rotten flesh. You need to
Close enough.
burn this. Arrest him.
Is this true? He's like, "No, that's not mine. They're trying to frame me."
Just play the noble card.
They're like, They look at you instinctively. You throw back your cape. Is this true, my lord?
I'm afraid we caught him red-handed. We saw him taking this away from the
Pile in the market.
Yeah.
The central market.
From the central market, and we suspected that he might be taking contaminated flesh out into the community, so we followed him.
Give me a deception roll with advantage as you put on your best young man impression. Deception.
I'm sorry, I thought
No,
we
I
started.
I don't have any advantages to deception. 13, I believe.
It's not bad, not bad.
Yes, my lord. Yes, my lord. Of course. We'll take him away immediately. And he tries one last attempt to try and break away from you.
What do I have to do?
Yes, just roll better than a 7.
Done.
Oh, dropsies.
Excellent.
Dropsies. By the scruff of the neck.
I
So
hand
he
him over,
tries to get away, hands over. They quickly put him in irons.
and then we hand him a
and take him
basket.
away.
Make sure you burn these.
Oh God, yes.
I believe there's an archmage who's helping you.
I think there's already a group in the central market who are cleaning this up. We might just get them over here straight away. Oh goodness, hold him here. And you guys come back and you see a guard coming over to the group of burner. He says, "Archmage, and groups. We found one more piece that's went a bit far afield. It sounds like someone was trying to steal it for some reason." They're like, "Oh, must be those infernal agents inside the city trying to poison our water supply."
Agents inside the city, eh? Take me to this piece of meat.
Excellent. Yes. And they lead you all, and the rest of you, to a group where you see a young man in irons and a lump of flesh on the ground, and Spear, the cape thrown back, showing off her fancy engraved armor, and Thea looking somewhat disturbed and a bit frantic as you guys approach.
Lord
Oh, what
Wentworth, strange peon. I bow to them both.
Archmage witch kicked.
We need to go.
Where is this piece of meat?
There, sort it out now. We need to go.
Everyone's like, oh, the magic.
Oh,
Yes.
Archmage Whitkicked, is there any meat you cannot burn?
Presumably golem flesh, I don't know. There's plenty, actually.
We are wasting time. We need to go immediately.
What did you find out from this person?
Let's walk this way.
Okay.
Walk away from the guards.
Thank you, gods, for your assistance.
You're very welcome. Is this your archmage at your disposal? One of your vassals?
That's true. He is part of my party.
Oh, well,
More friends!
I'd like to thank you for your generous, the generous loan and the supply of this invaluable asset to the city. In fact, look, we know that you nobles associate in different circles, but we could always use the help and the militia of anyone who could come to our aid, particularly experienced warriors like yourself, and your entourage seems to be quite skilled as well.
Of course, we will help in any way that we can. That's why we have come to this city. We have some urgent business to attend to, though.
Well, please, we will be at the Axis. We'll be at the Axis Embrace later tonight. It's just on Tupper Street in the dock section of this town. If you could spare the time, we'll probably be there till about 1 o'clock in the morning.
I see. Well, hopefully we shall see you there
Likely,
shortly.
it's open all night, but I'll probably have to turn in about 1. I have an early shift tomorrow.
Of course, it's good to be well rested.
And I'm Heinrich.
Heinrich,
Heinrich
lovely to
Oldham.
meet you.
Pleased to meet you. You don't shake his hand.
Yes, you do that.
I kind of awkwardly do with a gauntlet on, I guess.
And I'm head of the Central Market Militia.
It's good to meet you. You're doing good work in this city, but I'm afraid we must go.
Very well. He turns to what you've discovered is called the sanitation crew. That's basically on call to sort of deal with any of these issues, and says, just scout around one more time and make sure we haven't missed anything. And they all go on their way. And then you guys continue.
Yes, we need to go now. The people
What
we,
happened?
the people we followed, they're just being mind controlled by Straken. They're just mindless zombies doing what
You
he tells
mean-
them to do.
The
Wait, but they
Fu-
didn't look
fungal
diseased. Wait.
Well, no, I don't know, but they're being controlled by him. They're not the problem. Straken is somewhere in a warehouse, and I think it could be the one we're aiming for.
How do you... Just take a moment. First of all, you casting spells now? What's going on with that? Because I'm the mage here.
You don't know her world.
First of all. Second of all, you cast a spell to what? Were you getting information from their heads?
A little bit, yeah.
Like you're reaching into their heads and taking the information you want?
Yeah, well, my mum used to do lots of,
Yeah, alright,
mind
just
reading, palm reading,
Putting a pin
crystal
in it.
balls.
I utilized somebody else's spell to ride a horse. Cop's shit. Uses her own magic to reach inside somebody's head.
It's valuable
Not the
information.
time, nor the place.
Oh no, I'm all about the greater good. We're on the same team there.
Yes, so we need to.
Look, just talk to him, this guy.
so not a person, undead, fungus person, the hive mindy thing
Yeah, like
with many thoughts.
Yes,
Strange,
yes.
he didn't look diseased.
No,
That's okay,
it
it's
didn't
undead.
look diseased, but there wasn't a lot of his own thoughts there. It was all multiple, jumbled
Is he-
together.
Is he here? Because if we could take a look.
They're taking him away.
Just
You guys have walked away, and
one
the
moment,
guards
I'll-
are taking
I
him
will
away
cast,
to the prison.
I think
detect poison, disease, which is what I use to detect all these undead things.
So you want
last
to run
time.
back over to it?
I'll,
Yeah, I'm
I'll
gonna
run,
go back
I'll
and take
run
a
up
look.
and say, excuse me, just before you take him away,
The
just one
guards are
moment.
like, yeah, sorry, Archmage. What is it we can do for you?
Just to delay you no more than 6 or 12 seconds.
Meh.
You're just gonna cast a spell?
Yeah, I'm just gonna cast it.
Okay. Which one?
Detect disease and poison, which is what I use to detect the undead. things last
Yes,
time.
he is diseased. He is infected
He's-
as the.
One of the undeady things.
That's
Is
correct.
there anyone else? How many minutes?
I'm just like
Look
do the
around.
quick scan.
No, quick scan. No.
If
Just
that's
this
the case,
guy.
then he needs to be
Thank you, guards. Just
but
take him away.
He's
dangerous.
well,
Well,
he's one of the
I-
disease fungal undead things.
They're like, what? He's undead?
Yeah. I know he doesn't look like it, but he is. If you cut him open, he'll be filled with tubers. Trust me.
He's like, no, it's a lie. It's a lie. I'm just a
You
refugee.
hear that? That's a refugee line right there.
That's
That's
they
a
always
lie.
say that. I walk up to the prisoner and I go, I know you don't realize this, but it's already too late. And I just give him a shrug. Sorry, there's nothing I can do
Wait a
for you.
minute. if he's undead and all the undead share a mind, does that mean Straken knows we're here?
Oh, absolutely.
He knows we're here.
Let's...
He knows I'm here at least.
Seeing that there is this one.
When
he
we
knows
say
that
we
she-
need
she
to
was
get
scared
to
of-
the trading post as quickly as possible, are we...
Well,
Now?
I don't know
Is
if he
that-
knows we're here so much as he knew that I was in his mind.
Well, we're having this conversation like
Connected to the same-
sidelined,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
I'm just saying.
Can we? Sorry, I don't quite follow everything that's going. Should we take this person away?
Oh yeah, no,
This
take
person-
him away. Put him in a very
This person
tight
needs to be
box.
taken
looking-
to a temple to be cleansed.
Wait
wait a
we
sec.
can talk to the sanitation
We could
committee.
give him the stick.
Die, will he not?
But he's dead.
Already dead.
He's already dead.
So we're
The
going
unicorn
to
stick.
erupt a human being in front of everyone.
The
I think
uni
that's
stick. Great way to
probably
get the
not a
word
good
out
idea.
about those
Do we
contaminated
want to
stamina
cause
potions.
panic?
No.
No. Hang on. Please,
She
please.
whispered.
There are
maniacally.
a few civilians, like, so
No,
you've said that
thank you,
quietly. There are a
thank
few
you.
civilians, like, just standing around.
Please
Oh, what's
take
going
him-
on
I-
here?
Take him away. We need to, come on, gather around the bonfire, the meat burning bonfire.
know
We
why
need to
you
have a little
people are
quick
keeping
chat
this-
in private.
keeping this
like,
secret.
Yep.
I need to tend to
So
my
as the
magic.
guards, the Axe of Mirabar guards leave, they're like, well, look, my lord, if you need any further access to him, then please look us up. We're just taking him to the local precinct.
Excellent. Put him in chains and we may have to interrogate him later.
Certainly.
Quarantine?
Don't let people kiss
quarantine,
him.
yeah, we can quarantine, and we have quarantine facilities at our barracks. We've set them up.
Well, we have reason to believe that he may be involved in some other mischief, so please keep him separate from the other
Oh,
prisoners.
he's definitely involved in other issues. He's also undead. Like, lock him in a box. Right? Oh,
Undead, undead. Oh my god, what did you
hang on,
say?
did I say
They're
that?
saying
No.
that young man's
I
undead.
misspoke.
So these are people in the environment. They're like saying that man's undead. Is that man really? Who could believe? I mean, he was eating flesh. Could it be a ghoul?
Could just be a plague.
Thank you. We will continue on our way now.
Please. Let's go, team.
Shall we?
Alright.
Oh, they're being super secretive about it. Perhaps there's something that
We have
is
places
coming away to these
be.
rumors.
I must tend to my fire.
Everyone.
And I walk off. Shake my head. Oh my god.
So you leave the crowd in somewhat confused, some state of confusion
I thought we
over
should've just
what has just
explained
happened here.
I don't know why you're keeping it a secret. More people know
You
not to
discern
do
that
these
probably 3 rumors have gotten out. One, that there is a cult of flesh-eating ghouls trying to feed on the diseased flesh that's coming over the walls.
Someone's trying to poison the wells. And
Yeah, someone's trying to poison the wells, and possibly that there's a conspiracy that's trying to be covered up by the guards and this new nobles agency in town. Who knows? People talk, and they are talking.
Good night's work. Let's go.
Can we just gather around the fire in the dark alley?
Okay, so you go into a dark alley,
No, it's not dark anymore.
then you make it bright.
and then let me make this perfectly straight. A group of well-dressed
No,
individuals
no, no, no.
go into a dark alley together,
Just
and
walk this way and
Arch-
talk at the same time.
Archmage Wishchick is going back to his sanitation fire to
Sorry,
tend
what's
to it
the
before I
time?
put it out.
it's getting to like 10:30 at this point, 10:45.
Okay, my suggestion is that we find somewhere private to have a conversation.
That's exactly what I'm
Which
trying
probably
to
means
do.
that we need to go somewhere where we can book some rooms.
We don't have the time for that.
Is there possibly near
Surely the
Axis
Axis
Embrace,
has
is that
rooms.
a place with rooms? Do we know?
You don't know.
We know that they,
You know
they
it's a
pointed out
place
before.
where the
Can
militia
I-
go regularly
No.
to drink.
So, I'm sorry, Spear. We need to deal with this in the next minute. We don't have time to gallivant. If I understand it, let's just get out of the alley, off the street. Seriously, in this dark alley,
Why
I
do
don't
we
care.
need to deal with this originally?
Let me explain
we know
something.
nothing's happening
No,
until
no.
3
No,
a.m.
incorrect. What we have is we've had a
We
use
know
of
that
we've had a
Straken now
use.
knows that we're here. What are we going to do? Rush into?
Yeah.
Like,
Yep,
no,
exactly.
let's go and have a conversation about
We
what we're
know.
going to do next.
We know. Let's just clarify with these guys. Striker now knows we're here.
Yes.
I would
Right.
say so.
Absolutely.
Potentially.
Striker now knows we're here.
It's
We've had a detective.
Yes.
We know
He knows
he's
that I'm
at
here.
the warehouse.
At
We
a
know that
warehouse.
they have a hive mind. We know that there are undead
Yeah.
who have now seen us, who have probably know that we're the same people they saw before.
I'm with you.
They share their minds, so definitely
Yes.
Straken is aware that we're here.
So the 3 o'clock agenda is no longer
So
there.
it doesn't matter
Forward.
what
Timeline
time we
goes
get
forward.
there now.
Give me an
For as
intelligence
far as-
test, Thea.
Oh, 19.
You got
Not
the
cool.
gist that while all of these minds were connected, they needed to concentrate if they wanted to share information.
Yeah.
So you felt that while
bit panicked.
Yeah, it wasn't until Straken's attention was drawn to you that he might have gathered other information from the man who was there. But the man who was there was familiar with who Spear was.
Yeah.
And if Straken, well, he's still alive, so Straken could possibly now draw information from his brain.
Yeah. Look, the guy who we spoke to knew you. And Straken will be able to access his mind now, anytime he knows that I was there. And he'll be able to find out anything that...
Oh, should we?
And
Is it
As
true,
of,
like,
as of that moment, the beehive was slapped.
And they're in the
But-
sewers.
Yeah, at this point we know as
What?
far
Sewers?
as
Yeah, the other one went down into the sewers.
Totally got
And
away.
it's obviously a dwarven built sewer.
Well,
so I
Straken's
suspect it
main goal is
connects.
to destroy all of human life.
Pardon, what now?
so what we know is
I guess
that
that's not surprising.
in terms of the
Say?
playing field, we're aware he's aware we're here. So
Well, he's
we need
about
to
to.
plan out what our next move is.
Yeah.
Well,
And
aren't
I
we
suggest
doing
we find somewhere to talk about that isn't the middle of the street.
or I
Hushed tones
suggest.
in a dark alley is.
I still suggest that we just go to the warehouse, right?
Yeah.
We don't know what the warehouse is like.
You're currently
It
discussing
is-
this in a dark alley, yes?
In
Yeah.
hushed tones in a dark alley.
It might be
Sorry,
the
pause.
different.
Whose computer keeps making, or whose device keeps making all those noises?
I
Is that
think
one of
it's
these guys?
Potentially one of these.
Alright, cool. 3, 2, 1. Cool. Continue.
Look, it may be the same warehouse, it may be a different one, but he was definitely in a warehouse. He was checking to see whether it was big enough. He thought about Orin Hess, and we know Orin Hess was going down to that particular warehouse.
Tell me of this headband thing.
The circle that I saw when I passed used the scroll was around his head.
Can you describe that circle in sufficient detail for me to cast locate object on it?
Probably not, I think
We had that discussion because I've got it as well.
So
Can you attune to these undergarments that will let you cast locate object?
Oh, there's undergarments. They cast locate object.
Jeez, those are
Are they
There's some nice
Swiss Army
undergarments.
pants.
Prestidigitation as well.
Oh wow, nice.
You had an amethyst stone.
So
No,
now
the
we're
amethyst was
changing
there.
underwear in a
It's
darkened
a
alley.
circlet.
The limitations on locate object is
Range,
range.
essentially.
Yeah, she could attune to it and just take a long rest.
We
I
yeah.
reckon we're better off just seeing
So
if this
is
the
our
same
aim here to
warehouse.
run
Yeah.
into the trading post? We're just gonna go head first
Yeah.
into there. That's-
Well, no, I think we should. I
Turn
think we
up,
should go
scope it,
stealthily.
and then kick
I
the
think we
doors.
should scope it. Yes.
Also remembering that there's guards everywhere, and if a fight breaks out, we have a lord on our side.
Mm.
we could take the militia with us.
Possibly.
Yeah,
Maybe
Yeah,
and
mid-
you're practically part of
It
the
involves
militia anyway.
delaying ourselves until
The-
the other
No,
side.
we can
Question
go to the
I-
axe embrace and basically just rustle up a mob and go to the warehouse.
Yes.
everyone
If
loves
if
it.
there is something at the warehouse, but the other thing I'm curious about is why don't we tell important people this information?
No, I agree. We should go.
Because we have currently, every time we go to bring it up, everyone's like, shh, 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 shh.
Well, I don't want to cause
This-
a public outcry.
This
but
is the kind of information that leaders need to know about.
I
Public
agree.
outcry is
instance,
different.
I think
You're-
going and
bunch
telling leaders is
of
very
angry
different to
monks.
announcing in the middle of the street that there are undead roaming around. But we should absolutely be. Maybe we can go to the Axe's Embrace, talk to the militia there, see if we can find someone in charge, either recruit them for our aims or get to someone higher.
Should we-
Angry monks and Margaret.
But we also do we understand how far
We told them,
the
right?
influence
We told them.
spreads from this group,
She told
right?
them.
Yeah. No, I told them that things were happening.
there was a hanging offer of assistance.
Yes. We could potentially I would trust the Salune.
They were dying to hit something.
Yeah. I would also suggest though that we should be a little careful because remember we did come from a situation where they were in great positions of power and influence.
Yeah,
and
that's how they work.
yeah.
You're very
so
right. We don't know how deep their roots already go.
exactly. So I just think we should be careful about just enlisting any hootenannies.
That's why you're the boss.
So we're trading through high-level merchants, right? So we don't know.
And the trading company, something owl.
The
Yeah.
Tethered
Trading-
Owl trading company. But
Owl,
I
and
suspect
the blue finch.
Purple finch.
Purple finch
I
is a.
suspect it would be an uphill fight to
Yeah.
impregnate, shall we say, an elven clerical temple.
Yeah, well, that's where you talked to Marius Delvoir about. He was the one who told you what he knew about the trading company. The tethered
Let's-
owl.
Let's just scope the warehouse. It's a good start.
Stealth it.
I'm going to. Yep. I will nobly sneak ahead and
Maybe this is
basically
some
case the joint a bit.
time
Will nobly case the joint.
to share skills.
Maybe.
I have found that Peril is particularly good at sneaking.
Is he now?
Mum's got the ears of a bat.
I thought it was an elf thing.
No, I'm pretty sure you were quite, not exactly a bit louder when you were younger.
Wasn't everybody? You just get better at things as you've got 4 extra hours a night to put into stuff.
Enough sex talk, you two. Let's just get on the mission.
Alright, so we're heading to.
So I'm going to attempt to just vanish into thin air and
Just
head to this thing.
if we really want to do the stealth thing, I can make us all very stealthy.
That would help, sure.
Yeah, how do you do that?
I know it's a spore thing.
Right.
Think of it like spores of obfuscation. Kind of puff up a little bit, and people their eyes just slide off you.
But we're breathing that stuff in.
It's magic, man. It's magic. It's magic.
How long does it last?
About an hour.
Sure, I'll be it. I'll just.
Well, as this party's archmage, I don't think I've ever heard about magical spores not being... That's...
I'm pretty sure magical spores have featured heavily in the last couple of weeks.
No, I mean about them being magical in the say that we can inhale them. They make us invisible.
Do we have to inhale them? Or
You've
do we
been
just
inhaling
run
my
them around?
spores for days.
Very true. Makes me feel sick.
There's only so many days.
Read
Not-
out again,
not-
you're reminded.
Not to mention also Straken spores. So you're probably lucky you've got my spores. They counteract the Straken spores.
Right.
I'm doing that.
Look, needs must. Spray them out.
You start to realize there's another taste there. You're like, oh,
I thought that was the
Salivating.
cheese.
yeah, it's not the cheese. I will as we approach.
So you are making your way towards 115 Pritchard Way,
Yes.
which is
Yes.
the location of the Tethered Owl Trading Company's storehouse,
Yes.
Yes.
as you discovered from the various documents. And you do. As you make your way through, you realize the streets are getting more and more empty. You see less people than you do patrols. But as you get towards the dock area, you see less patrols on the streets. However, you're now approaching the walls, the large, well-built dwarven walls structure that eventually sort of opens out into the dock area. But the gates that lead into the dock area are at this point closed. You see 2 large iron-bound gates, heavy wooden, but like clad in iron gates, and it looks like this is just one part of 2 sets of gates on this heavy wall. As you come down sort of the main street and you start to see the houses sort of get smaller and smaller, more compartmentalized. A mix between sort of built up 3 to 4 tenement houses, warehouses, and then just smaller hovels that still stick out like sore thumbs in the otherwise higgledy-piggledy growth of tenements and working areas.
So the main gate to the dock is closed and guarded.
Yes, because the docks themselves have been bombarded by the siege and pretty much completely destroyed.
Is this near where the orc and his wife were in orc? Or...
Yes, this is in the same
Could we
area.
maybe like go through their house over the wall?
Go through their house over the wall.
Are they? Because they were like meant to be there. I don't know. I'm just trying to think.
No, so this is still the dock area.
Yep.
Even though it's this side of the wall. It's just not the docks proper. The docks proper is on the other side of the wall, where all the ships used to pull up on the quay, do business. There were a bunch of
Pritchard Way
structures.
on the other side of the wall.
Yeah, this side of the wall is where all the warehouses and bits and pieces are. So the
okay.
115 Pritchard Way is here.
He's on this side of the wall. Okay.
Yeah, you are in the correct area.
All right. As we
It's just there is a segregation between where the ships pull up
Yep.
and the physical docks are, and where the storehouses, warehouses, and living arrangements for people to work in that area are.
Okay. So we don't have to
Which
get
is
to
where
the
you
other
are now.
side of the wall.
No.
Just thinking ahead.
Good thing.
all right.
Spray that sneakiness on us.
As we get close, I'll huff out the spores of pass without trace.
Okay. As you do so, a bunch of spores come out, and you sort of look around at each other, and everyone's kind of like just shimmering in and out of consciousness. So there's a limited radius on it. It's more like you breathe in the spores, and it makes you not see certain things.
Awesome.
Like these people.
Okay, so a veil of shadows and silence radiates from you, masking you and your companions from detection. For the duration, each creature you choose within 30 feet of you, including you, has plus 10 bonus to dexterity stealth checks and can't be tracked except by magical means.
Jeez.
A creature that receives this bonus leaves behind no tracks other than or other traces of its passage.
And we need to remain within 30 feet of you for this to be.
It does not say so.
Okay,
No,
great.
it does need to. You do need to remain within 30 feet.
Okay.
How about you turn into something, hop in my pocket, and we can just go walking through this entire warehouse.
I think we all can at this point.
I'm invisible.
Take off my clothes.
Oh, that was the wrong spore. I don't. No, it hasn't popped. That's fine.
All right. So
Yeah.
as you're obviously getting closer, you come to the corner of Pritchard Way and the main street, and you look down, and it's a long and winding street, big enough for a heavy cart to go down, but not much more apart from that. In this area, it gets much smellier, in spite of the good sewage system. People, just horses shit all over the street. Also, because of the industry that's in the area, you have the smell coming from tanneries, and also the smell of fires coming over, the smell of coal smoke coming down, and the smell of fires both from this side and the encampments outside. As you move down the street, you sort of get hemmed in by the claustrophobic sense of these 3 to 4 floor tenements, as well as warehouses backing up left and right. You see that the only visible light in this alley comes from spill from the various housing windows that exist. 1 or 2 people here and there. You see there are 2 groups of people on the street as you approach, have small fires just burning in little stone pits that they've made, and they're just burning trash and keeping warm. It just seems like because of the influx of refugees to the city, there is no part of the city where people aren't going to be. Even at this time of night, even in the cold, there are people out living rough. You move down, however, they don't seem to pay you much mind as you pass by. They don't even notice you. This is working real well. And you eventually come to a point where you spy what you believe is the warehouse. It is on the corner of this alley, 110, 15, it's a Pritchard Way, and another alley that runs along off towards a wall. You arrive on Pritchard Way. You see a couple of groups of people here and here who are just hanging out, having like fires, just to drop some little. Oh, look, I got some fire tokens here. Ooh. Thanks, game.
Fuego.
Fire. We got some fire going on. I should need that for your bonfires, right?
Yes,
Good.
thank you.
Love tokens. All right, and you are. I don't know. Where are you guys? I've put you sort of roughly at that end at the moment, but if you'd like to adjust your positioning.
And start moving
I
down
think
the street.
that's all right.
Yeah, whereabouts does 30 feet extend to?
This is the building.
Positioning laser
Yes.
pointer.
No, from our
From me.
helpful druid, where is 30 feet?
30
Quite a
feet
way.
is.
6 inches.
I have a measure specifically for this.
I might, as we get close, if there's a window, I can pop Buddy inside, and he can take a look around.
We're just scouting at the moment, aren't we?
Yeah. At the moment.
Scouting will swiftly.
But
turn
as long
to
as
stabbing.
I can see through a crack, I can manifest Buddy on the inside.
Cool.
So, 30 feet is 10, 20, 30, about this far. So,
Okay, cool.
30 feet, so you have a bubble of that big that goes
Yeah.
all the way around.
It's a doozy.
Cool.
Maybe what, 10 meters?
Yeah, thereabouts.
Because I can get up onto the roof that we're
Yeah.
going along.
So you want to scooch along here and climb up?
Yep.
So you...
What is that on the roof? Sorry, is that a guy?
Buddy.
Oh, Buddy, sorry.
All right, and where would you like to? Let's go around. So spear. Where would you like? Oh, Saria. Spear. Yes. Where would you like to be?
Whatever.
Whatever.
I'll be sticking with the party, I assume. So
Alright, so you're gonna stay on the ground with these
yeah, I'll
guys.
stay on the ground. I'll be towards the front, I assume.
Bernard?
Sticking
fire.
with the party sounds like a silly thing to do. I'm going to move to that corner of the building.
Okay. Like
In
that.
right on the corner in anticipation of ducking down the back way and shoot. No, the other one. It's up this way. The one just here on me.
Oh, here.
No.
yeah, I get it. You want to be over here. These guys aren't there.
So you're going to be out of the bubble.
No, I was on the other corner. But,
This corner.
correct. Right on it.
Yep. Cool.
Exactly.
And
I think I'm going
Here?
to stay in the bubble.
okay.
Be climbing to the roof
X.
for me.
We'll teach you that later.
Those climbing incidences at the manor house.
What climbing incidents is the bad house?
We don't talk about.
So, and from you're on the roof as we have you, and Sayan.
You don't need to go on the roof, do you?
No.
No, I'll stay on the ground.
I mean, thanks for the offer.
It's
Okay,
alright.
with the group.
But
And who's leading the group on the ground?
So I'm going to be skulking forward at a sort of a half pace.
Mm-hmm.
One, to properly stealth so we don't attract attention, but also to allow everyone else to keep up with me as a focal point. So no sudden moves on my behalf, just heading towards that sweet, sweet warehouse.
All right.
And I'll probably try and take the lead. Which is the target that's hard to hit.
And hard to see.
And you're underneath the eaves of this building, yes?
Me?
Thea,
As long
yes.
as I'm one in that 30 feet.
Yeah, we're all still in the 30
You're all
feet.
still in the 30 feet at the moment.
Yeah.
Bernard is just outside.
As soon as I'm
No, he's
about
inside.
to leave the 30 feet, I'm going to run to the forward corner. But I'm standing still and then sprinting and then standing still.
Yeah, awesome. All right, cool. So, just to give you an idea of where you're all at, so you can see that too.
Awesome.
Let me just put it up here. We'll adjust this.
And Buddy will just be floating down with me along that rooftop.
All right, cool.
He's not the healing Buddy.
Oh,
He's the
different
regular
Buddy.
Buddy.
He's not the sheep.
I can heal through Buddy though, which is very handy.
He's very
All right, so from here, how do you guys want to approach?
There's the entrance.
basically, gonna
There's a
skulk
front
along,
entrance here.
see if there's a
You,
window.
Bernard, you can see down the side here that there is in fact also a rear entrance.
I actually don't need... I'm doing the signs anyway,
But
Yeah.
So just to give you an idea,
but I'm saying telepathically, there's a side entrance back here.
you guys
Just to you.
Just to
here and
me.
here, you
Who
guys can
knows?
see that there is a rear entrance at the back of the building there.
Okay.
What do you want me to do, I say?
Oh, I can reply, can't I? Telepathically?
No.
No? Alright.
Hand signals.
What do
Nothing
I
but
do?
hand signals.
I'm gonna say, I'm just gonna walk up to you. what do you want? Like, what, I don't know what. I don't. Do we want to go in? We could go in.
Back door, front
Is there a
Yeah,
usable
back door, right?
second
like,
story
we don't want to
window?
go through the front.
It looks like there are no windows except up here and here on this side, but apart from that, there's this hayloft.
Yep.
Or loading
I
area.
presume it is closed.
It is closed.
I'm not sure if I need line of sight for my telepathy. I should check that out. But otherwise, if not, I'll get a line on you. Poke my head around so I can see. Where'd he go?
Yep.
Super stealthy, damn it. I'll just talk at you and hoping. There's a hayloft I want to enter through.
Yep, that's, I'm on it.
There's a back door here as well. We'll wait for you to get into a good position and then. Paladin's locksmith.
Can I make my way to the hayloft and try and stealthily?
You actually have
jimmy
a
over?
pretty good access from
It's
from right there.
reasonably
You
good.
just- You just sort of like reach across. The building is back just a little bit, but it looks like this is just a loading area.
Yeah,
They wouldn't load directly off the back of the cart. They'd probably, or if they did, it would be a narrow cart. Yeah.
See, I'll try and open that a crack.
All right. So you come up and just reach across. It's like, give me a athletics or acrobatics roll to sort of put
Okay.
yourself in a position where you can
Acrobatics
sort of be
is good.
stretching
Fancy.
across the roof. It's not
Doing acrobatics.
that far, but it's still almost the length of your body across. that
23, I'll do it.
All right, so you're comfortably in a position now. You've got basically you're doing the splits. It's very elf. You've just straddled. You've got one foot
He's
on the corner
points
of
on
this
both
roof.
wall. Like,
Yeah. One corner on the top of the other roof. And just like straddling there, and you're just like, okay, cool. And now you start to look at. There's no lock on this.
Oh, okay.
So there must be some kind of a latch
Yeah,
on the
I'll
other
just
side.
use the dagger.
So
And the
give me
latch
lockpicks tools just to try and do the thing.
thing. 24.
So you sort of reach in easily, and
Nobody saw anything.
I'm just mesmerized. Am I seeing this or am I missing it?
You can't see a thing.
Oh, I see a bulge. I see all sorts of stuff
But-
going on.
but it's
That's
just
a
like-
hell of a split.
assuming you're all moving up to the
Yeah.
corner,
Uh,
and Buddy says,
Buddy's hanging with the elf.
What else? No one here.
all
It's
right,
just
so
passing of the wind.
you sort of latch it open,
In that position.
and it makes not much sound. But as you do so, you see that it opens a crack, and two things.
Mm-hmm.
You can see light starting to spill through from the crack of the opening door.
Okay, so light coming out.
So there are lights inside, which you guys couldn't see because the windows on the side of the building here and here seem to be shuttered at the moment. And
Suspicious.
you can hear sounds, some people just moving around.
Okay, I will give some hand signals and some very quiet whispering of.
I say telepathically, those aren't even the signals.
I give
And then I'm
you
like-
a solid, clear thieves signal.
Wait, but can Bernard understand thieves can?
No, I don't know. These are not the agreed upon signals.
I think they're in there. Stop talking.
Okay.
How many? Just how many?
33,500.
3,315, I believe you just said. Okay, I don't want.
Got it covered.
People inside. People inside. People
Mostly
inside.
Can I
People
try and
inside.
actually
learning how to break
look
hair, I haven't
through
learned any of
this
these
crack
things yet.
and see
Yep.
how many people are in
So what you're seeing as you look through the crack is you falling to your death. But what you do see is nothing up here.
Yep.
There are a bunch of sort of boxes and miscellaneous furniture pieces, just sort of like strewn around
Oh, piano.
up here. But apart from that, you kind of can't see what's going on downstairs,
Okay, cool.
which your assumptions tell you is where the movement is coming from.
All right. Once August moves on up with his bubble,
Did you
I
want me to
will
float
move on in.
Buddy in? He's small and unobtrusive.
Can you use his eyes?
I can.
Well, yeah.
Okay, I prop myself up against a wall,
Mhm.
just there, and I walk through
You want
Buddy.
to join these guys by the fire?
I think he goes towards the
no,
building
no,
so that he
towards
can
the
keep the
Okay, so you end up here,
Mhm.
and there's the back door that's right here as well.
And then I'll walk through Buddy
Mhm.
and take on
Walk.
my minute-fungal form and float inside the building ever so stealthily and quietly, keeping the fungal-like giggles.
So you're
to a minimum.
staying within 30 feet of yourself, so...
Yeah.
Yep.
You're within 30 feet of you, so you're right.
I am
You're
beside
right.
myself.
And you waft in, and up here it looks like everything's very haphazardly strewn around. It looks like there was a lot of other stuff here previously, but it looks like things have been moved in a hurry. You see a few bits and pieces indicating what might have been before, and you notice, in fact, it looks like a sack has tipped over, and there's a couple of tubers just lying there.
The ingredients for the stamina potion.
Yes, those tubers. Those tubers. You come across a bit further,
Mm-hmm.
and you look over the edge, and you can see downstairs there are a group of individuals. 4 to be exact, that you can see from this angle up here. And give me a stealth roll for Buddy.
What's that? 12, 21.
So, assuming that you're not coming around the back in a hurry, I'm going to use
Oh, sorry. 22.
this area to do the second level. 22 for Buddy. dice. Okay. Nope, don't seem to have noticed him.
Did you recognize Straken? Probably not. You've never seen him.
If I saw a particularly severe-looking dude
With a circlet.
with a circlet, I'll be like,
Largely in charge.
highly chance he's struck.
Excellent. Deductive reasoning then.
Mm-hmm. Very wise, the old Gus.
Body double plan pays off. There's a Straken in every city.
All right. So yeah, you look over the edge and you can see these guys down here. One of them sort of walks over and is paying careful attention to the front. But apart from that, you don't see anyone else. This guy sort of strolls over here. They're just looking around on the floor. It looks like they're just double checking. They're actually in the process of tidying up. But they are armed. They have bows. They have axes.
Have they been
Do any of
talking
them
about
look
anything, or just kind of?
They are not talking.
Do any of them look like Orin Hess?
No, but give me a wisdom or intelligence roll.
Raw intelligence is 20.
20. You recognize two of them from as being members of the group that Orin Hess met up with earlier in the day.
All right. I'll open my eyes and be like, hey.
What is it?
There's two of the guys in there from Orin Hess's crew.
But no Straken?
No Straken. We seem to have strucken out on this one, but they look like they're waiting for someone. They're sort of cleaning up, so either they're about to receive a shipment, or a shipment went out very recently. I suspect.
Is there anything of note here?
There's a couple of tubers in there.
So it's already a bust.
Has the place already been cleaned out?
No, because if they're expecting a delivery at 3, remember, and we've got a lot of time before that. And the delivery's coming in.
So I guess the question is...
It has been, just to be clear, about 30 minutes since when you guys had that conversation. You guys had a conversation for about 10 minutes now, so probably about 40 minutes since you did the mind read and now.
Which would still give us an hour or two before the shipment's meant to come.
But we don't know if Straken's plans have changed because if we now know we're
Yeah.
around.
Or have given them 40 minutes to...
Clear out.
Listen, let's listen in.
They're not saying
They're not
anything.
talking.
They're not talking.
They're
They're just
waiting.
They're
They're
sitting
waiting,
and waiting.
and they're very armed.
Show
So they're waiting for
Should we
us.
take
Is it
one
an
in
ambush?
question?
If it's an
How many are
ambush, then
there?
they're probably these street people. These people out on the streets here. This is telepathic.
Mhm.
Could also be part of an ambush.
I could turn on the old
As an alternative, we can look. Madame Nurma's magical anger does with the charges spent appropriately when casting courage. I understand that's right. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Now it takes a significant period of time to attune. However, I have seen a little purple finch wallet that Warren Hess ran out of. So I might be able to find Warren Hess. And standing next to Warren Hess, there's a strong chance that we can find the strike.
But it's
That's
locate object is so.
Yes, but
It's our only option.
Just standing around here, either
but
waiting to walk into
it-
an ambush or waiting to walk into
it
something
could tell
else.
us where the second warehouse is.
also it's
I'm
as a
assuming
straight line.
that a head sort of leans over the edge of it. He's like, it could tell us where the second warehouse is. I am assuming you're all whispering at this point.
Yeah.
Well, when I'm speaking, I'm actually doing it
Yeah.
telepathically.
Yes,
Um,
but that's
they-
different to speaking as a group. And
And
shit.
also, it means none of us
But
are
you-
hearing you except
Exactly.
whoever you're speaking to.
No, I don't do it.
You just go 5 times.
Yeah.
You.
I also do
see.
hand signals each
But
time.
You might
with,
find
with
out that
only
Warren Hess
1,000
is
feet,
inside.
that's gonna be a lot of hunting.
So,
How much? 400.
1,000 feet.
That's a massive range. Do you know how many warehouses? That's like it's 300 meters. How big is the industrial area?
Yeah.
And if they have moved
and
things,
when you
they can't have moved it far.
the moment you cast it, if you can't find the specific object you're looking for, it'll just direct you to the nearest one of its
Okay, I want the nearest purple finch
What if
bonnet.
they all have them?
Oh no,
So-
but they like.
If it's a common thing, we're going to shake them all down.
No, if I can't find the exact object, it'll point to the nearest.
Yeah.
So it will first try to find Hess's.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so how many are there?
4.
You sold 4.
Four that you can see from the top. From
And
looking
there's-
down here.
Okay, well, I'll
6.
have him like do a little. Phil, can you hear any others moving around underneath?
Deception roll.
They're probably all undead, right?
That is
Those are not the agreed signs.
22.
Yeah,
Six.
you definitely hear at least
In the academy, we used to
3 more
Ah!
under here.
Oh, update.
Oh.
There's at least 3 more near the back door that we're standing right near. Thank God for this spell, right? Those spores of silence. Golden.
Yeah.
Maybe I could cast.
I would like you all to make a group stealth roll at this point.
Anyone fail?
Yeah, we do.
Oh!
That's right, it's a group roll, Tash.
Oh shit.
So that is
Oh shit,
Oh, but
snaps.
plus 10,
It's
right?
not looking good over this side of the table.
24.
Yeah, that's good. Keep them coming.
I'm going to use my point of inspiration.
Now, you remember you all
You
had
have
10
plus
to it.
10 to it.
Oh, we had 10.
Oh,
Okay, so
Yeah,
I'm currently
10 to
sitting
it.
on
Everybody
6
has
I
20.
get to add
So-
inspiration to that.
It's whatever
No,
your
no,
stealth
crit fail
is,
on a
plus
exclusion.
your dice, plus 10.
16!
Crit fails are only.
20.
What you got in this?
Uh-huh.
I have no
So let's go around the
stealth.
table.
Oh, I won. Oh,
20,
12.
But you're
I'm
four.
wearing plate
So
armor.
August 24,
disadvantage,
Saya?
so you get to roll
20?
that twice,
16.
unfortunately.
16.
Sorry, everyone.
I
am.
roll a
Via?
1.
It's very... Yes.
16?
20.
20.
12.
See, I'm not the worst.
Okay.
There's 320 and above, that's all that matters.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep,
that's
yep.
all that matters. Alright, cool. Yeah, keep going.
Can I get my face down under the door
The
sill
rear door.
crack?
All right,
I
you wanna-
just want to see literally the square on the other side of the door.
No, it's alright. It being a rickety old building, you actually get a reasonable view of the room. And you can see everything in there. There is, in fact, one more person than you initially thought in the room. So there's 8 of these guys, and they're just picking up bits and pieces, putting them in sacks. Anything that might have indicated
And so
occupation
there's
of
a
the
front
place.
door and a rear door.
Mhm.
The front
Front
door.
door is this way.
It's
It's a
double
large
wide.
double door.
Yep.
Yeah, for like livestock and such. And the rear door is just a small access
So,
door.
as far as I see it, we can either try and take these guys on and stick
know
a
that's-
mystery and
you
use
know
an
that's
investigation
happening.
to find out where they are. We can retreat and go and get some real authorities and report this to the leadership and see if we can get some people behind us.
Sensible.
Or we can
She's
go back to the Axe's Arms and talk to the militia. If we're going to take these guys on, we could probably create a diversion by some of us going around the front as though we're walking into the trap, and others coming through from behind.
Yeah, alternative. Yeah, go around this. But they're going to expect a stormed front.
So, buddy,
I reckon-
I'm going to set a
someone's...
door.
I've got like
Can I-
a one
Two
person
guys
stormed
start
front.
coming up
do
these
it, do it.
stairs.
Can I light a
perhaps-
bonfire in this front of the door so they can't come out through it, and you storm the front?
At the moment they start moving in that direction,
Do that.
Buddy will go
Ah!
like out the little door and push the doors just gently close.
Okay, cool. So you come back out on this
And
rooftop.
just goes and gently like rest up because it's not like lock. He's just like resting against
Can I
it.
light a fire?
And at
Can
that
I light a
point-
fire to start this off? You want to get in
And
position?
Bernard, so you've seen 3 of these people go up, and there's some sliding noise as well. They seem to be moving some things around up here. Shh.
I think this is our moment for our attack. Shall we do it?
And then these guys is moving around. You're still looking under here.
I'm about to drop a
They
fire
start
on the
moving
thing.
stuff down here. They're moving some furniture around
pupperish.
downstairs.
Are you ready to go? You in position?
I reckon if I go around the front, maybe with 1 or 2 others, and then we pretend like we're coming for good, this is a trading post that my family was allegedly
He's moving
involved
us in real time, so
Yeah, let's
say
go.
the group that you want to go
Okay,
at the front
I'm
with
going
and
to
move us
go. I'm going to go around the front.
I'll
Who
join
wants to
you.
come with me?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll
come
join
on.
you.
With you.
2.
Yeah. Okay.
Tails of
and then
action.
I'm more
you
of
go
a
the
rooftop.
sneaky back
You got
boys.
the 3 on the roof.
Boys at the back, ladies at the front.
Go to the front.
That's just like the school bus.
The way to do it. And
Lord Brian.
Saga, you going to the front as well?
Yes.
Kicked
All right,
down
so
that
you've lost
glass
sight
ceiling.
of these guys down here now. You've lost sight of all of them now that because Bernard takes his eyes off, Buddy's left the building. And by the time you get to the front here,
Oh, I'm still under that back door.
Yeah, yeah.
so you stay behind. All right, cool.
I'm still looking. I'm about to cast a
There's
create
three.
So
bonfire-
these guys
bonfire
are
on the door.
there's one person, two people up here. These people have sort of like made a bunch of sort of barricades and they're standing in the middle.
Oh, perfect. No,
And
it's too good.
you don't know where these guys
Kindling
are.
there for you.
The big pile of kindling.
Give me a perception roll, Spear and Thea, as you're coming up around the corner.
Oh, great. That's actually good.
11.
18. I gotcha.
Saya?
Sorry?
Your perception?
Perception? 19.
All right, cool. You're coming around the top corner as well. So you guys become aware that there's somebody up there, sitting by the front door.
I'm going to approach him.
Okay, cool. Not him, to her.
Ah, ladies in front.
Girls, to the front.
And she's carrying a basket of apples. It's like, oh! Do you make yourself so you have to say, oh,
Yeah,
would you
I'm gonna
like to
pretend
buy
I'm
some
here.
apples?
No, thank you. I'm not interested in
They're
apples.
very nice, these apples!
Can I hear that?
She's conspicuously loud. Yep, everybody can hear it.
I take that as the prearranged signal.
Oh, you're finally using the signals, guys. You're finally using the signals.
Finally using the right signals. So I go.
Okay, so you
Let's
go
Go
to
as in
Sprung on both
cast,
sides.
create bonfire right in the middle of that little patch of kindling and bodies.
right in the middle here. All right, so you're at the back door, and suddenly these guys get dexterity rolls. So two of them take some damage.
D8. It's D8.
Yes.
You want me to roll
Yeah, please.
You do your own
it?
work.
8.
Nice.
Solid.
Solid.
Oh, I've been on point with these fires tonight. I'm just like, so many fires. I'm just like I'm pumped
You
out.
all hear a, oh, fucking what? And there is a chance. No. All right, cool. That's all. You hear some shouts coming from inside. You see two of the people sort of jump out from behind these barricades, and a bonfire. Which I conveniently have two of them.
It's a thatch ceiling, right?
Well, thatch ceiling, yes, but
Far away there. It's not the
that's
floor.
kind of higher above.
Yeah.
But there is a bonfire in the center there.
I need to set that building on fire.
Get some marshmallows.
Aren't you though?
This guy also jumps out of the way, but he takes no damage from it. You're like, what the hell? Yeah, everybody can roll initiative. As this round starts, Saya, you seize the initiative. You hear the shouts coming out of, damn, where'd that fire come from?
Burst through that door.
So
Is
you're
it
currently
open?
standing at the
Yeah,
front.
in the front. Yeah.
Oh, I'm at the front.
Yeah, you're at the front.
Can I
with
come
Thea.
through the door? Can,
Yeah, so
does the door open?
Well, you go run up to the door, past the apple lady. Oh, you
Straight
sure
away.
you don't want some apples?
Like,
Yeah, and does it open?
And you give it a kick. Dunk. Well, it seems to be barred from a big crossbolt on the inside.
Cool. We're
But there
not
is a noticeable gap in the door. If you slid something through, you could probably lift that bolt.
No, that's.
Double
Oh,
tap
okay.
that Apple salesman.
Yeah, I'll slip through. I'll pull out my. I'm
Cast that spell through it. You know you want to.
Stick your
first
finger
up.
in there and
I'm gonna spend my
spray.
action lifting up the door with my rapier.
Yep, cool.
But I'm also gonna cast spiritual weapon.
Awesome, as a bonus action.
Yeah.
Alright, so the door is not open, but it is unlatched, so anyone could now walk through the door at this point. Bernard. You're at the back, just here.
Yeah. The bonfire's going to move.
So, disappear bonfire, move bonfire.
5 foot towards the guy who's standing on the top of the table.
This one?
It's going to set all of that table on fire. Anything flammable in the square is ignited.
Yep.
He's got another dex save ahead of him.
Yeah, he fails.
Oh,
So
yeah.
roll damage.
2 this time.
Alright, cool. So he jumps back out of the way of the fire. But that object is also on fire.
Correct.
So I'll leave that marker there to denote that.
You're gonna need a lot of fire markers.
With a firebug like this? Yeah, quite possibly.
We've given him.
But
I've
now-
just set one table on fire. Really.
Well, that is on fire.
But you've only just
You've
started.
been hurling fire all day.
It's been 12 seconds.
I'm waiting for you guys to go into that room. I'm not going to make it to that.
And that's it?
Yes.
Awesome. Alright, so Thea,
I'm
you're
gonna-
at the front here.
I'm gonna run round. Yeah, I should be able to kick open that door, right?
Yep, so
Because it's
you
been
come over
unlocked.
here, kick open the door, boom!
And
And
I
the fire
can
gets brighter.
Some people on
cast
fire.
Cloud of Daggers.
These guys have been distracted, so their cunning ambush does not go off, and their held actions don't. But these people who are up here pop up from behind their cover, and they all shoot down at you.
Fantastic.
What's your current armor class?
15.
Cool, wow, they're terrible shots.
Excellent.
So out of 6 shots,
Wow.
2 of them hit.
That's pretty good.
But they do a total of 4, 5, 6, 7, and 10, 13 points of damage.
Jeez.
As 2 arrows go thok, and like stick one through your shoulder and the other one through your hip.
The reason I'm a mediocre wizard is because I'm built for luck. Divine Portent.
Well, that's good.
Okay, so what that means is if you've got a big Hail Mary move, right? I rolled my portents for the start of this day. It's a 2 and a 4, so I can guarantee a failed failed saving throw on their part, right?
Perfect.
Right. So just keep that in mind. I need to know it, and it needs to be before they roll. So when you make a big song and dance about I am pulling off this massive one, la la la, then I can see how it's going. Right?
Your
So furthermore,
Yeah.
saves for that cloud of daggers.
these two
What?
here and here, they are going to shoot at. Well, actually, no, they're not going to shoot at anyone. So the only person who can see these at the
So
moment
disappointed.
is Bernard, because these doors have opened.
Mhm.
Just for a
Blocking them.
frame of reference here. Yeah, so the doors have kind of opened and they're covering up their positions there and there. So these doors go all the way to the top.
And I can see.
But I'm
I think it's
assuming,
out of range.
Bernard, that you have told your friends that there are people hiding behind the doors.
I'm
yes?
just going to confirm that my thing has got the
I
range.
see
But
those people now.
30 feet is my range, so I'm probably unable to let them know.
Sorry?
Unless you shout.
Unless I shout. But they're going to assume that there's people behind the doors.
Sure.
Your message is 120 feet.
No, my range of my silent speech.
Oh, okay, right. You're not using the message cantrip. Yep.
I don't have message cantrip.
Yes, you're definitely out of range for your silent speech. Alright, so Thea, you've jumped in, arrows have come in, and
Okay.
what would you like to do? You can't see these two because they're behind doors,
Okay.
but you can see this guy. He like sort of spins around, he's like, whoa, shit! Drops his bow and has an axe in hand.
Oh, well, I should throw my daggers at him with my...
You're not doing Cloud of Daggers?
I was going to do Cloud of Daggers, but I was going to launch it up the top there. But
Oh, yeah,
maybe I
you
should
can
just
do it up
launch
there.
Daggers do.
It fills the air with spinning daggers in a cube 5 feet on each side, centered on a point you choose within range.
So that would be this. You could like drop it on them there.
Yeah, I reckon I could keep them out of trouble for a little bit.
Okay.
Let's go up the top. And a creature takes 4d4 slashing damage when it enters the spell's area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there.
Alright, cool. So it doesn't take any immediate damage.
Nope.
Alright, so.
That'll be
And is there anything else you'd like to do?
get myself some cover.
So you duck out to the side like
Yeah.
this. So back in the doorway there. Alright, cool. August.
I'm acting just before you are, right?
Yes.
I look up to you and like, want that door open? Buddy's gonna be like,
Kick
and just like, just open up like, but he's looking.
Okay, give me a stealth roll for Buddy. See,
Quietly, little man.
quietly open
He's
the door.
pretty stealthy though.
He's super stealthy.
Oh jeez.
That's a minimum of 29.
Wow.
It's 33 or something.
Okay, so your buddy's like, open the door, and would he like to like just drift into the room
Yeah,
out of the
like,
way? He's like hides. Alright, so then the top of the hayloft is now toward.
Gently playing with their hair, floating by their head.
But you can see all the daggers, right?
Mhm.
The daggers have hit that point?
Yep.
Or-
Yeah. So you open the door and you see and hear. Oh shit! What the? Oh my god! Ow! As a cloud of flying daggers spins wildly around this group of people here.
That's my best
Yeah,
idea.
just
Right there.
close it again.
As you open the door and fly in. You also can see over the top down to Sai, who's just standing boldly in the entrance.
I'm
It's like,
gonna,
oh, I didn't think you were going to open the door.
Wasn't that the goal?
Yeah.
Somebody said apples.
cool.
I'm
Yeah,
sure
someone
I
said
heard
apples.
apples.
I'm gonna try and open the back door.
And are you doing anything? Yeah. So you come and try and open the back
I
door.
haven't
It's
been in one of these
barred
things.
from the inside. You assume some kind of cross bolt is on there.
Does it have like an easy opening for flicking open?
Not from out here, no.
Then I'll prepare the druid's thieves' tools.
Is it called shillelagh?
It is called shillelagh, and I will attempt to coax the lock open.
All right.
That's the
You mean
spirit.
hit it?
Yes.
You know what would be nice?
Excellent.
A nice use of shillelagh is if you cast shillelagh on the door, shillelagh, and the door explodes, leaving a staff in your hand.
I mean,
That would be
Yeah.
amazing. That makes total sense, right? So,
Aha!
but in this case, you hit it. That's fine. It's automatic. But give me a damage roll.
Where are you, you old shillelagh, my friend? So that's an 8 plus. That's 14 damage
Not bad.
of thwacking.
All right, cool. So you thwack it, and
14 points of damage.
Yeah.
the bar that was on the back of it cracks and bends and breaks. It's holding on just by a tether. Probably a good kick would get this door in at this point.
For thematic effect, I use my reaction
Mm-hmm.
to just let my spores melt the hinges off. So just
Crunch. And the back door falls down. This guy's like, "What? Hey!" So these guys become aware of your presence at the back door there.
And you assure me there's no negative long-term health consequences from breathing these things, right?
no. As long as you're not made of organic matter, you'll be fine. And at which point I step outside of the door because I don't have any more actions for this turn, so I'm not going to be.
Just gonna step
I'm
out of
still
the way. Do you wanna
lying
go to
on the
this
floor,
side of the
right?
door or
Yeah,
the
I'll
other
go to this side to give other people some access.
You're like looking underneath
I'm
the
still
door.
looking under the door. As
You're
well.
like,
But you can
Watching
actually-
all these feet
Yeah,
running
so
around.
the door falls in and they all look and see the archmage standing there.
I'm on the
looking
ground,
like,
still I'm facing the puddle, like I was looking under the ground.
All right.
Still
if I can, I will grab be like, and just drag the halfling out.
Are you gonna let yourself be drugged?
I will, yes.
All right. Cool.
As long as it's by the belt and not the ear.
All right. No, just sacrifice like some movement. Well, you haven't moved at all this turn, so that's totally fine. All right. So, Peral.
Yes, so I presume I'm already hidden. I will.
Yep. You're out of line of
proceed.
sight of this, and they don't know about it anyway. You're up here.
I'll move quietly around and pop the guy in the middle of the knives in the
Yep.
back of the head with a arrow.
Mm-hmm.
So noble of you.
Yeah. Look,
The
I'm sure
I
it's
believe the term is aristocratic. When...
Oh, rude.
16.
Yeah, that's a hit.
Fantastic. $13.
All right, cool. Yeah, you like jam it in there. He's like, ah! He thinks. So we just see. But he thinks that it's a dagger.
Perfect.
He's like, as it sort of like skims by and pierces through his ear.
Am I still hidden, or do I need to use my bonus action to re-hide?
You can use. No, you're not. No, no, he didn't notice you.
Okay, good.
Because you're all still super
But
stealthy.
you will need to move off to the side so that they can't just see you at the open doors now.
Totally fine. I'll
You're
just do a casual walking past arrow shot in the head.
Was it with a short bow, longbow?
Longbow.
Yeah, cool.
Elf style.
Sweet elf style.
So what does that mean? You kiss the string before you loose it.
yeah.
Always pull it up to
He
the corner of
just
your
doesn't
mouth.
even look. He just holds it there and whatever.
And every time you let it go, it's like elf style.
All right, Spear. You hear all manner of commotion coming from inside at the moment. People are like yelling about being cut up by knives, bonfires going on, doors being kicked open. It seems like confusion is reigning, and this
Grab the
lady is
apples.
holding out
I
a
finally
single
decided
red
that I do not
apple.
want apples.
Are you sure you don't want any apples?
Right in the
Murder the apple seller.
No, I'm gonna. I will get in front of Saya.
Yep.
Thank you.
Pray whilst swinging this
Sorry,
way.
I already used myself as armor. At least once. I took all of those hits from them.
Oh, yeah.
And am I in range to actually melee attack anything?
So you run in the door and you see that immediately in front of you there's a guy.
Okay, I'm going to.
He's holding an axe.
I'm gonna take a swing at the guy with the axe.
All right, sweet.
Ask your question. And it's a +6, so 19.
All right, awesome. Yeah, definitely hits. Roll damage.
You're just praying whilst hitting him, I think.
What's the damage on it? It's a D.
I think it's just
6
a
plus.
cry.
No,
No,
D8.
It's got to be a
D8.
battle cry as she just wheels it down. Sure.
D8 plus your strength bonus.
Right, and then plus an additional 1 because it's magic.
Yes.
So that's 7.
All right, awesome.
And it's radiant damage, just to mention.
Yes. Well, it doesn't seem to have any additional effects, but you cut into him and blood sort of like just arcs out through. As you sort of bring the sword down, cut him across the chest, and blood starts seeping down his pristine white shirt and collar.
And I yell, surrender!
give,
They
me,
hope.
give me a persuasion roll.
Powers for an ambush.
Or intimidate, your choice.
Intimidation then. And that's 20.
Alright, cool. Yeah, cool. You yell that out.
Good. Just
Uh,
giving them the option.
Getting gnarly.
Given that
You
they're
need to
actual humans,
incentivize
they're not zombies. We kind of want to take these people and find more information.
Hey, that was the thing. I was like, is there blood? Like, there's blood. I'm like, oh, okay. This is murder then.
So this guy walks back and he's like, "Hey,"
my
he sort of
thinking
like,
too.
sort of
Proactive
like
self-defense.
holds his axe in one hand and sort of like holds his hands up. He's like, "Yep, sorry." Starts walking away from you, like over here.
Oh, that's got to be a provoker.
Yeah. Look, sorry. Yeah, like I totally didn't mean to. And then this guy kicks the door suddenly, really hard, into you. Give me a contested strength roll.
It'll be athletics, I think, against the shark.
Yeah, athletics.
Whoa, that's so good. 10.
All right, cool. So you go flying across and knocked onto the ground, where you become prone.
Prone.
Yeah.
Damn
And this
it.
door slams shut.
Still think
Saya,
it was
make a
ours.
dexterity roll to avoid the door as it flings very quickly.
11.
Yeah, unfortunately, not quite. You take a nominal amount of damage as the door slams into you. 2 points of damage. As the door swings around and just catches you on the shoulder.
Wait, so am I now just outside by closed doors again?
No, only one of the
Only
doors
one of
closed. So
them,
it's
okay.
double door.
Great.
One of them sort of
Easy.
swung around and closed and just slammed you in the shoulder. And this side of the door is open. Spear just falls down on the ground, looking very disgruntled in her face at the moment. And this guy, he's done the push, and then he makes a run up these stairs
Ooh.
to just the top of the stairs here. This guy was backing away, going, "Oh, nothing to see here, nothing to see here." That's just happened. And then these two are very confused as to where to shoot. And one of them shoots back. Oh, well, they both can't see Bernard. So this guy ducks in behind
Oh,
cover
thanks
over
for the
here.
drag.
And this guy keeps up his cover and shoots straight through at Saya. So he makes 2 shots. What's your armor class at the moment?
16.
So he only hits once. Does 10 points of damage to you.
Jeez.
Alright.
As a longbow bolt sort of actually his longbow bolts sort of slings in. Now these guys aren't carrying longbows. These guys are carrying short bows, but they're hitting like longbows, and they seem to be of a very, very interesting make. And this one, who can also not see Bernard, shoots to the front at Sawyer as well, hitting you once again, doing 9 points of damage.
And she's dead.
No, thank you. Everybody calm down.
Meanwhile, up here, these three guys have all started with in the square. So how much damage are they taking from your cloud of knives?
4d4.
Okay, please roll for... Would you like to roll one at a time or all at once? Just roll one at a time. So let's go with this guy.
Okay, 4d4. Now I need to do some counting. Or I can do it that way instead. That's faster. I have to read the tops of them and the
Efficiency.
bottoms. 1,
4, 6, 7.
8, 9.
9?
9.
Alright, cool. So, and the next one?
4, 5, 6. Oh, that's another 4.
That was a
Yeah,
four.
so it's 8, 10, 12.
Okay, cool. This guy's like, the arrow and everything's just being very, very cut up. And this last guy?
3, 9, 10, 11.
Okay, cool. So this one moves out of the cloud, ducks to the side, looks down, gets a very clear view of spear on the ground, so goes to fire twice. What's your arm class at the moment here? A spear.
20?
So it hits you once, doing 7 points of damage. These compound bows they're firing with.
Fast shots.
And this guy this guy here staggers out of the cloud of daggers to the side and sort of looks around, sees if he can see Buddy. Sees Buddy.
Jeez.
But with 30 something?
Oh, 30 on the hide, that's right, yeah. Okay.
It's like
Does not
34.
see Buddy.
Thinks he
He
sees
didn't
something.
roll. He thinks he sees something, but obviously didn't. Looks down and shoots at Saya as well. 14,
Just another dagger.
17, missing. So 2 shots come down. Sorry, you're lying on a spear. Sorry, you're lying on the ground, and it's like
What's your hit point
shots
situation?
like goes into your leg. Shot goes thunk,
3
and
hit
then 3
points.
other shots just go thunk, thunk, thunk,
Alright,
flying into the
I
ground, and
can
one
look
sort of
after
latches
myself.
into your shield.
I can just use the portents to make sure that every shot on you.
This guy stumbles back
Oh,
and
okay. Yeah.
goes
So if
to the
anyone
roof,
shoots
sees
me
that the
again-
door is open.
I just kind of use it on
Sees it, you see,
advantage rolls.
and just does a leap across onto the roof
Oh, hello.
to
I
try
don't
and get
replace
away
it.
from these knives, and sort of does a
D20,
dash
I
across
replace
this
the
way,
check.
just like batting away around himself.
Yep.
Okay. Solid.
And
Do I get an attack of opportunity as he goes past?
yeah, do it right there if you want to.
So this is a guy that leapt out of the cloud of daggers?
Yes. He basically is freaked out, and he's just like running away.
And he's parkouring across the rooftops to get away. I like
It's
the guy.
it's like less than a meter jump from
Yeah,
From
I
there
only
to
got
there.
like 10.
All right, cool. Phew. He's like, whoa! But he does, in fact, notice. No, he doesn't. He just thinks it's another knife flying around his head.
He's gonna cut bread with like spoons for the rest of his life.
All right, and we brings us back to the top of the round, so we're on to Saya.
Come at me.
You've got like 3 arrows sticking out of you.
So first thing I'm gonna do is cast Cure Wounds on myself
Uh-huh.
at a 2nd level.
This seems to have drawn the attention of some of these guys who are now sort of just wandering over, and civilians. Just keep an eye on what's going on over here.
Okay. I'm then going to use I'm going to move out of the door. Actually, first I'll move my spiritual weapons, my 2 glimmering swords, and I want to attack.
So we are going to. You have a choice between a firebug, or we can go back to the pig.
I love a good. The pig's good.
All right, good. Awesome. Unfortunately, memory. Actually, we are gonna use this flying sword.
Ooh,
For your spiritual weapons.
cool.
Where would you like to put it?
Can you put it next to the one that's really close to? None of them are really damaged yet, are they?
Anyone with a heart on. So the hearts indicate how much damage they've taken.
Okay. Can you please?
So the higher the stack, the more damage they've taken.
Can you please put it on the person nearest to me near the door? Yeah, that.
This one. So they're on the other side of the door. You can't see them. Do you need to be able to see them?
I don't think so. It says I can just move it. You can move. Oh, but I can't. I don't know that he's there.
That's correct.
All right. So anyone I know.
This one.
That one.
This one. 3 on the ground and the 3 guys up the top of the stairs here.
Yeah, the one closest to me.
So remember, this is overlaid here, so you can see up to the top there.
The one closest to me that I can see.
This one?
Yep.
Cool. So right in front of him, or are you going to move it behind?
No, right in front.
Cool.
And it's going to
It's a
attack.
spiritual weapon attack?
Yep.
So the spiritual weapon attacks, and that's 21 to hit.
Mm-hmm. Hits.
So that does 5 damage.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to just duck behind the door where no one can just freely attack me.
Like just here?
Like, yeah, maybe a tiny bit further back.
Okay, so you're going to join the...
Around the edge.
yeah.
So there's one person on one
Okay,
side
no,
of the wall.
keep me on the edge of the door. Keep me on the edge of the door. Just like
the
behind
door is
you.
like... It's
Yeah.
just like...
It's good. You're doing the right thing.
Alright.
Alright, awesome. Excellent.
I'll pop the big buddy up soon.
So this door is open and you're just off to the side there.
Okay, I'm going to take a move to walk up to the door.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of my move. And then I get line of sight on that guy who's hiding behind the door on the other side.
Yeah, you can
Straight
see
down.
half of his body just sort of like peeking out the back
That's
there.
enough. I'm finger drumstick twirling the wand of wonder as I pluck it out of my pocket. And I shrug.
I'm in this room.
Archmage the shit out of that guy.
I'm
Point
covered
at
in
the
this
Give me a
friends.
D100 roll, please.
Just casually walk past.
The target is a creature, yes?
Yes.
Roll D percent.
It's billions.
Wand of wonder.
004. You cast slow.
Okay, awesome. What does that do?
That
Slows him.
sounds useful.
On an individual target?
On him, yeah. So spells, I think it's in my spell list. Slow. Yeah. You alter time around up to 6 creatures of your
Oh.
choice in a 40-foot cube within range.
Well, this
Yeah,
is
they don't
useful.
come fire twice anymore.
20,
Delicious.
30, 40. So that is 40 foot. So that's everyone
Jeez.
and a cube.
6
So
of them.
all the creatures in this building, which is
Up to 6.
10,
Oh, all
20,
creatures of your choice too, so you don't
Yeah.
have to have an
Hang on.
effect
No,
on
I
it.
think the one may only affect it though. I just don't want to overreach.
So anyone in this building.
Wand of Wonder slow. It's you cast slow. Fuck.
Wow.
That's how it works.
No
that's-
fucking around here.
Alright,
Yeah.
so,
It's powerful but random.
slow is okay. 40. Okay. There's a Wisdom saving throw.
Uh-huh.
15. An affected target speed is halved. It takes a -2 penalty to AC, and Dex saving throws. It can't use reactions. On its turn, it can use either an action or a bonus action, or both. And it can't make more than one melee or ranged attack during its
Yes,
turn.
they're only attacking once
irrespective.
now.
That's pretty significant.
Uh,
All right, cool. So,
Jeez.
who are your
Well done.
targets? You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys in the room.
How many can you
And I
affect?
can do
6.
up to 6.
Leave the 2 at the top off.
I'll leave the 2 in the dagger cloud off.
Okay, well they're not in the dagger cloud anymore.
Okay, but I'll leave the 2 at the top level off.
Yeah, and there's one on the stairs.
He can have it.
All right, cool. So, DC 15, you say? All right,
Yes.
So he is affected.
And the guy at the door and the
He's
guy
affected.
next to him are going to.
He is
Definitely
affected.
fail.
So affected. He is not affected. And he is affected.
Renaissance man.
Oh, so
Cool. There you go. So anyone with the little clocks on them?
So who can you just
You're-
give me a little angle? Can
Did
you
anyone? Was anyone not affected?
The one go over
Uh,
on the right hand
yes, this guy
side
here.
relative to
That guy there.
the front
Fine, I
door.
got it.
You can see.
And then having
Do you want? I would remove this, but we need the.
No, that's okay.
height.
significantly impressed by the utility of the wand, I
Let me change this slightly.
Smile and then step back out of the door. Out of the door is
I should look down at you. I'm just like, I've just seen you point, then you come back and smile. I'm like, what is he smiling at?
What did you do?
Shrug.
I'm just like, take a little look.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do we even
I imagine
see
like
the
the
effects
slow
yet?
pulse of light that comes out.
All
You
right.
just step away and then it comes out of the door.
So, and as you've stepped in, done the spell, are you going to continue moving at all?
No, I'm just basically stepping back out of line of sight to that.
To the other
Okay,
side.
cool.
You'll
Walk past.
the
A
door.
slow walk past. Exactly. I like it.
All right, awesome.
Phlegmatic.
And then you jump back, and then we're on to Thea.
Yeah, that's
All right. I'm going to use some bardic inspiration to tell you we've got this. You can do this. Thank you. I've seen you in battle before. You
You're
are
right.
amazing.
This is destiny. We got this.
And then I'm going to get back to the door and see if there's anyone in range for some dagger throwing. I'm going to use my bonus knifing.
Can you bonus action inspire? Is that how it is?
No, it's a bonus action for bardic inspiration.
Yeah, cool.
So, Thea, you come back over to the door
Yeah.
to here. You
Yeah.
can see in.
Yep. And someone I
Nice.
can aim
So,
for.
as you approach the door,
Little old lady with apples.
says apples, and throws her
Oh.
apple tray up into your face.
That bitch.
And you're like, whoa, hey, what the heck? And it doesn't do anything to you, but as you're momentarily distracted, she comes at you with a dagger.
Oh.
But again, you're like, daggers? I know daggers. And she's like, just
Yeah.
sidle out of the way, and now she's just like, ah! And she's got a knife.
Right, well, I'll just.
It looks like it's dripping with a viscous green liquid.
Are they apples or just really well carved tubers?
As the apples fall to the ground, you see them crumble to black dust
Ugh.
escaping from the inside.
Lie, apple lies.
apples.
Right.
Right, so that's it. I don't get to throw anything at her.
No, you're
Oh,
fine.
yay, alright.
She failed in
up.
her distraction.
Right, well, I'm going to bonus knifey her.
Mm.
Use your minus 10. You use your
Yeah.
minus 5 plus 10.
Yeah. So I roll my dice and I add plus 10. No, I can't remember how it works.
So you take a minus 5 penalty to hit roll and do plus 10 to the damage.
Okay, so I'm minus 5 from what I rolled. My dagger.
I think it just becomes a straight.
Oh,
It becomes a
whatever I
straight roll,
roll,
because
yeah,
normally you
doesn't
get plus 5.
3.
Okay, so just like try and just jam a knife
I'm
in her
If it
so
makes you
face.
feel better, you
disgusted
would've
by
missed
those
that.
Unfortunately,
apples.
being in close proximity doesn't help at all, and it's actually your disadvantage to try and do a ranged attack within
Yeah.
5 feet of an opponent.
I should have
Oh,
just
wow.
gone for some stabbiness.
Yeah. Regardless of which, you missed, and are you done?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't have anything else.
All right. So, and who's got inspiration? Nice. August.
All right. I like look down at the creepy little halfling that's smiling. I'm like, poke a head in, look back, give you an appreciative nod. I'm like, watch this, and I cast the big buddy down by the open door.
Okay.
Which is a bonus action.
Mm-hmm.
So get some healing down. Turns out it's a lady buddy because ladies in the front.
So, where's Buddy going?
Down near the very front door.
What's your range of it?
Can we have pictures of lady buddies? And...
Healing.
Well, this is basically Lady Buddy. Oh, no, that's not Lady Buddy. We can't have pictures of Lady Buddy. You can draw your own fan art. And I'll post it.
60 feet.
Alright, cool. So 60 feet gets you to, pretty much the other side of the building. So you want it just here?
Yeah, because that's roughly in that door where they can move through and I can see.
Yep.
So sort of outside where they're there. And then I'm just like, look back down, I'm like, and I just throw the stick in the room. And then it
Just
turns
a
into a
stick?
huge anaconda.
Oh!
Alright, so what's your... Give me a strength roll.
Look, if it's tails at the door, I don't particularly care, but that is a 17.
You hoik it clean through a guy's face.
Okay, cool. So you can throw it all the way to the middle of the room if you like.
Sure.
Boom!
And I'm like,
And the stick hits the ground, writhes and transforms, extending in length, curling and curling and curling up until a giant anaconda can be seen in the middle of the floor.
and
Everyone's like, whoa, whoa, whoa! This guy's like, what the hell? Oh shit! They're
Really
slowed, sorry. They're as they kind of back away.
And the anaconda do want some. So it is going to attempt to take a munch on the closest guy. Seems
So
fitting.
a bite attack.
The
Yes.
nearest one.
Yep.
who
So it has someone
spines.
within 5 feet, which is this guy.
Sounds delicious.
All right, cool. Make the attack roll.
That'll be an 18.
Hits. Roll damage.
5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 damage.
All right, cool.
Get in
And then
there.
he needs to make a DC 16 strength check.
Nope.
He is now grappled.
See, I made it just for this purpose.
Yay.
For a person to get in there to stand on there. It's like, ah! Oh, sorry, in slow motion.
Yeah, in slow motion.
And then I give a smile and step back from the door.
Can you imagine having a giant,
Bro.
a huge snake appear around you and you're slowed and trying to just get away from it?
It is. I just sit back and I'm like, it's a real bad day in there.
You guys are having like some sort of spell off at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, it's magical item off. We've only like playing without new items.
So we're on to Pera.
Oh, okay, cool. The guy is basically fleeing.
Yeah, he's
Away off.
running away from you. He's oblivious to you.
Do I clean him up or do I
The question
attack
is-
somebody else?
Use your non-lethal arrows.
You
I
could get some information right out of this guy right now, or you get blood.
can I try and wing him in the leg so he falls off the roof
Mhm.
to then.
Well, he's currently standing in the middle of a reasonably shallow sloped roof, so you could probably wing him in the leg and make him fall to the ground.
You're,
Yeah,
good enough,
that's-
you're good enough to aim for a particular barrel to land in.
That's
Yeah.
yeah. There's like a horse trough around him.
Perfect.
Sure.
Perfect.
Yeah, that'll get him. That's like a 22.
That's an infection.
All
right
right,
there.
so you wing him over here.
He's already working
Yep.
for a fungus guy.
He's trying to run away.
Yep.
And he makes a.
No, he doesn't.
Dead.
I've, got,
He totally fails.
I've seen how this goes, Herbie.
It's not a natural 20 then.
It's not a natural 20, no, so it's a 2, I believe. I'll give him the 4. I'll give him the 4.
Give him the benefit of the doubt.
Alright,
I'll
alright.
give him the 4.
You are
So-
so kind.
he's,
Generous.
as he runs away from you, he's like the arrows, and do me some damage to him.
Yep.
Let me remove these.
10. No,
I'm
sorry,
assuming
15.
you're doing non-lethal
15.
damage to him. Yes.
Yes.
All right.
There's
so
some questions be asking.
you have him down on the ground. The arrow, longbow, nice, long, strong arrow, just goes through his belt loop and locks solidly through the thatch roof into a beam.
Perfect.
He's like,
You've been noble.
but he's also weak. He's at the point he's barely conscious.
Okay, I'll get over there and start questioning then.
You're still sober and drunk. How can you be no?
They look like they've got this under control.
Okay, so spear. You look over and you see this giant anaconda in the middle of the room struggling somehow. You're like, oh, all right. And then there's a healing spirit, like, small glowing green yellow mushroom glows.
You just have to walk through that, right?
I think I'm gonna
Yeah.
stand up
High
first.
five it on the way up.
So you're within 5
Oh, yeah.
feet.
Sorry.
You're within 5 feet of it, so it's very easy just to duck in.
Okay. I will move through the healing thing on my way to hitting the closest enemy.
D6. And this guy?
Yeah. I'm gonna go for non-lethal hitting.
Okay, yep.
We've got one of those. It's
So
fine.
get
We don't
get
know
your D6.
Well, I'm
log
not really
first.
into killing humans. In general.
These
Let's
are
say I've
probably
just-
technically all undead, though.
No, well,
They're bleeding.
They're bleeding.
Yeah,
Look who's all observant.
but they're bleeding really slowly.
Oh, no, 10.
Alright, unfortunately you missed.
Damn it.
Did you want your
The
healing?
bad guys again.
What did I get to heal? A D6?
D6. Alright.
I'll roll it.
Little health there.
4. Thank
Nice.
you.
Thank you,
helps.
buddy. The butter
Alright,
dies.
swing in, he sort of ducks out of the way and comes back at you. He's like, readies his axe to come at you again. And we are back to their turn. So he faces off against you. He's looking around, sees the anaconda,
It's time to
And
make some choices, man.
he goes to shove you again. So give me. He actually misses. You please turn away his shove with the axe, and he's gonna risk the attack of opportunity and try and run for the back door. Actually, has he seen
He's
anyone?
gonna
Let me
get-
see if he's seen anyone at the back door yet. Nope. He thinks it's a clear getaway.
Opportunity.
So he's
So you get an attack of opportunity as he leaves your square.
Okay.
so does the
No, because the anaconda has another one
That was
constricted. So
frozen.
while it has someone
he
constricted,
can't grapple another thing. He can still attack another thing.
okay, cool.
I'll check the notes on it.
Do check the notes on it. Did you hit?
14.
Not quite, no. And he runs towards the back door, gets to about that point. This guy goes, actually, he's not running to the back door. He's running up the stairs that terminate, that he is at the bottom of. So he is going to avoid the attack of opportunity. Oh, he avoids the attack of opportunity from the anaconda because he just goes straight up these stairs.
He never left threat range.
He was never in threat range. He was over here fighting Spear.
Okay.
You moved out of threat range to attack this other guy. You were never within threat range of this guy. This guy also moves up the stairs. Is their speed halved? That they're slowed?
Yes.
If it's
Yes.
slowed, yeah, this speed is up.
So this guy moves over here, past Buddy. This
Buddy,
guy
just
moves
push him into the blades.
here. And this guy comes up the stairs. His speed is not halved.
It's a shame he needs to move that cloud. No, it's been like 10 seconds.
Has it? Really?
And these guys are all trying to figure out what they're gonna do. The left dice on the other side of the field again. So that guy's freaking out. This guy's all right though. He can see not much. The only thing he can see from over the top is Thea. So he's going to take a shot, only one shot, but 19 is, I'm assuming, going to hit you, Thea.
Yeah.
So he does 9 points of damage to you. As an arrow just comes up, pops over high, and
High five,
phew.
I'm gonna find
This guy who popped to the side and is not slowed is going to shoot once down at. He's going to just shoot both shots at the snake. What's your armor class, giant snake?
Giant snake armor class is 14.
Alright, that's a lot easier to hit than you. 10, 15 points of damage. It's 2 shots. Straight into its head. The guy who's grappled, can he axe you?
Yes, he can.
Alright, he can only make one attack though, because he's down, so he does hit you.
Did you enter the building?
And he has a
That's not
No,
me.
that's the snake.
That's the snake
Oh.
stick.
It's the royal Europe.
great axe. So 8 and 10 points of damage to the snake. He's basically just, it's a totally Conan situation. He's like drops his, slides his great axe out the back and just like, and hacks in a big
These guys are just
cut.
bleeding, right?
Opens up in the back.
Is everyone bleeding? All these
Yeah.
guys?
Yeah, this
Yeah, this is Murder Town.
This is all just mercs, right? These are all just mercs paid to whack us.
Yeah, yeah.
And this guy who's slowed, he sort of like steps to the. Has he seen you guys jumping in? Nope. So he still didn't see where things come from. He was pretty distracted by all this. He backs up to the back door, takes a shot at the snake. So yeah, he's gonna hit you. You said 14 for the snake's AC, yes? Yeah, cool. 7 points of damage. And this one slams the door closed
Again.
and pushes his back up. It stands in front of it, so holding it shut. And
Are you on the inside or the outside?
he's on the inside.
Oh,
And it's just using his strength though. He's not going to put a bar instead of doing anything else. So he's using his interaction to close the door and lean up against it, and then he's using his action to shoot at the snake as well. So 16.
They're closing
hits.
the main double door, is that right?
Yeah, closing the main double door.
So there was
He
no-
only does 4 points of damage though. And that is there. That's all their actions. So now we go to the top of the round with Saya. So this door's just been slammed. Closed here. You're standing outside with the healing spirit right next to you.
So I'm just gonna pop in that healing spirit for a quick hot.
Oh yeah, just a
tea.
little dip over to the side.
Um,
Get D6 back.
See, people like the spores burned.
Yeah, you're doing it like a
how
Kill 'em with
battered
love.
Sailor
are
Moon
you
twirl
looking?
through the
I have
spores.
2 hit points.
Yep, so I'm gonna cast.
Oh, Jesus.
I can cure wounds myself.
I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds.
So I could probably use a few goes.
So that will be
Did you take that in one go?
4.
No, that's 2 hits.
So Thea, you get 4 points of health back.
I'm
feeling better
also
already.
going to. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do: is so if I attack and I can't see the thing with my
Yep.
spiritual weapons, I'm considered like blind.
That's correct.
So I
It's
can attack at
disadvantage.
disadvantage.
That's right.
So I'm going to attack at disadvantage.
You move over to where? So you're currently
To the
floating
toilet.
around over here.
Well, I saw
This
the
guy ran
guy
away
running
from you.
up the stairs, right?
Yeah, so he ran up the stairs.
I'll go for that guy.
Alright, so the spiritual weapon goes up the stairs. I'm
Yep.
going to put it here within 5 feet of these two.
It can only. Yep. And then. Hold on. I'm gonna use my inspiration.
You can't have double advantage though. Oh no, that's
No,
just a
it's
dice.
just
Yeah,
Inspiration.
It's inspiration on
It's
the
D6.
13 to hit.
Don't you have also
It's
part of-
unfortunately misses. So the spiritual weapon just flies up and
That's
starts
fine.
swinging around wildly, but adding to the
Even-
cloud of daggers.
Even
it's
with their -2 to AC.
Mm.
Oh,
For
minus
being
2 to
slow.
AC, so there's 16, 15, 14. What'd you
No,
get?
I got 13.
Oh.
So.
Not quite.
good remembering for the slowed. Although I believe that guy there on the top of the stairs is.
You also have the
one-
bar-
He's not
He
slow.
went
No,
up
no.
the stairs.
I just used
I
that.
used
Oh.
it. Okay.
No,
That was
he
your
wasn't
other
slowed.
inspiration.
He was the one guy downstairs that wasn't slowed. They all have markers on them. Alright, cool. Anything else? Or any
Nope,
movement?
I'm pretty. Can I use my movement to try to open the door?
Yeah, if you just want to run back and shoulder barge it, if you just want to go boom,
Yeah.
boom, bam.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, cool. So give me a contested strength roll.
Oh no.
Front.
Girls in the front.
Oh, so close to the
Actually, I think I may have seen how his strength check.
He does look pretty flimsy.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Sari got into the room.
That's how I remember it.
That's how I remember.
So what did he
it.
roll?
He rolled a 2.
He actually did roll a 2. So I was hoping you were going to use the 4. It was like slightly better. What did you get?
13.
All right, awesome. Well, he fails and staggers forwards 10 feet. He'll make an agility test. I'm losing all my d20. Which he just passes. But he does stagger forward, stays on his feet. He's still slowed, and these doors boom, burst, both of them open full.
And I'm now exposed.
And you come into the room here.
Surprise, motherfuckers.
Now standing there, and you look up and you go, "Whoa! Look at that snake! Didn't see that before." The situation changed rapidly. All right,
It gives you a
awesome.
wink.
So we're on to Bernard.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know how I'm going to one up you next time, but well, I'm interested to see how you go.
I actually think we should let them surrender
Mhm.
at this point.
I'll try again.
I'm going to just basically sort of. I'm on the back corner of the thing because I walked across the door. I'm going to walk until I've got a line into the upstairs loft.
Yep.
That everyone seems to be running up
That
to.
is like about level with the snake.
No, I mean outside from the alley. Is it possible to look in through the back door?
Ooh. Through this top
Yeah.
entrance.
Yeah.
Not really, not into there. You could. Well, which way do you want to go? You currently can't see anything. You can see like, a foot in from the angle.
Can I
So
make
top of the roof,
a?
so
Can
you're-
I climb?
You're down
my
here,
little,
so you're
yeah.
looking up like that.
Can I move to the bottom and start an athletics check to climb
Yes, you can make an athletics check.
and scramble up to the top? Yeah, no, doing really
Ooh,
good.
jeez.
17 on the
Aristocrat
athletics.
of you next.
Yeah, cool. So that's going to get you like you're 10 feet up, and you just pull yourself over the lip, and these people all turn to look at you. The four
And I
guys up there.
say, I assume you guys are being paid, so how about you guys drop your weapons, we won't kill you, and then I, boom, drop a fire in the square that they're likely to jump through if they're trying to escape.
That's your square.
Drop a fire
You've just crawled over the edge, and you're in this like
Well, I was kind of hoping to do it like this. Hey guys, you want to return? And then
right in front of you,
right in front of me.
like in front of your face.
Well, in the square.
Okay.
He's
Sure.
an archmage.
Knows
his fire.
Do you dare question an archmage?
Oh, I know. Look, I know
I do not
exactly how
question
close
the
to get.
archmage.
I'm thinking just about warm.
Safety first.
I want you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah, I'll make a wisdom saving throw. Yeah.
Yep.
8.
You're like, ah! Now make a dexterity roll. Athletics. Sorry.
Athletics. 2.
Ah! Boom! Okay. So you do it right in front of you. Like, in order to actually stop these people from getting out there, it's like literally 5 feet away from you. It's right in front of you, and you're just holding on. Boom! You're like, oh shit, that was a bit closer than you
Yeah,
thought. Like,
man.
it's normally
Tell me the
fine when you're
damage.
standing up.
Never
And
No
you
mind.
take
eyebrows
a
Happens to the best of us.
D4, so take a 1 point of damage.
Well,
As you
Who's
fall
your
down,
eyebrows? Right there.
unless Gus, would you like to make a dexterity athletics roll to catch him as he falls?
I'd like to think I'll take the
No.
point because I like to think it is eyebrow damage.
Something's
I think you're
falling
right
down.
there.
You quickly step
I-
aside.
I just like you win that round.
But there is now a bonfire covering this exit, and they all seem to be in a position to leave through that.
Yeah. I'm happy to remain prone. I think I've used up all my movement climbing. I'm just going to lie there prone with my face smouldering and my
On the plus side, the movement
eyebrows
down is a
singed.
3.
Yeah. And I ask telepathically to Gus, do I still look okay? How does it look? Does it still look okay?
Just like there's no eyebrows.
No.
There's no eyebrows
This is not
whatsoever.
building
It's like the
confidence.
black
Thumbs up is
kind
not
of-
what I wanted to hear.
All right, so Thea.
Ah, alright. Well, I'm Apple Lady.
Yep, you currently Apple Lady's like, ah! She's got a poison dagger, and she's
Right.
like
Get through
coming
that
at you.
love, buddy.
Yeah, I need to walk my way through a bit of the love buddy action.
Mm-hmm,
So if I back it away from the
Yeah, you
Apple
don't even
Lady-
have to get out of her threat range. You just like step back. The buddy's just right there.
Alright, and then I might just do a normal attack with my dagger.
Okay, cool.
Did you
Rather
want your
than the-
healing love?
I did get some healing love. Let me put that on first before I forget. It's 1d6.
Mhm.
5.
Oh
It's
yeah.
actually reasonable. It's really reasonable. 11. Alright, then hit with my normal dagger. 9.
No.
No.
All right, you
9.
it's
I'm like,
it's a knife fight. She's like stabbing out at you, stabbing back at her.
should have inspired myself.
Should have inspired yourself.
Oh, I have a
it.
bonus action. I'm gonna give myself a self-talk.
exactly.
I'm gonna
Pep
inspire
talk.
myself about, this is not good enough, Thea. You know how to use daggers. Don't let this
better
put
than
you
this.
off.
Yeah.
You are
That's not
destined
what
for
we
great things.
Okay, do you want to use that before you stab?
No, I think I need
All
to
right,
do
cool. That's
the
for next
crafting
round.
thing
Awesome. You have
first.
inspiration now.
But,
Um,
I'm inspired
No,
now.
you need to fail in order to just.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Build
that's
yourself
true.
up.
I
Build
can
yourself
bring
up.
Naruto.
Build yourself up. All right, so Gus.
I'm going to.
Sticking around the back of the building, Bernard's just fallen down hard to the ground. You you pulled out a fingernail as he scraped down the side of the building.
How far is it? Because who's actually in the room now? Those two.
So they're just inside of this door. So
Oh, no,
the
actually
door
looking
right-
for the compatriots rather than.
Oh, in this room. So you
Sorry.
jump over here and have a look around the doorway. Yes.
Actually.
Do you want to look in?
No. I'll actually ready an action to wallop the guy as he tries to leave.
Okay.
With that, Buddy will actually fly over towards these people at the front.
This buddy.
Yeah, with his amazing stealth.
Okay, so he's like within 5 feet of 2 people.
Oh, maybe he just stays there then. He's pretty well hidden at the moment. He is literally the same color as wood.
Yeah.
He's fine. I will deal.
So yeah, buddy here, he would.
Yep, I'll deal with Snake Town then.
Got it.
So this guy's grappled,
Let's see if we can.
which means you can just inflict more wounds to him if you want to.
Yeah, do it.
Uh,
Can you get the snake to talk? Can you get the snake to declare that they should surrender?
don't think snakes generally come with good speaking diplomacy.
Could you get it to spell out a word with its body?
10. That's 14 more damage.
To this guy.
Communicate over massive distances with
So
two
he's
of
like
these things.
raises his axe for a second. It's like as he
Interpret
comes up,
death?
you hear this crack, 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 crack as the sound of his. Anyone with a medicine of a reasonable level can hear his pelvis snap into his ribs, crack, 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 as a spray of blood just erupts from his face, and one of his eyeballs falls out of its head, and he sort of lolls to the side and is now limp all through the mid torso,
This is the opposite of parlay.
completely dead.
The snake just kind of bites in and just throws it up into that dagger cloud area. Just throw the
compelling
blade.
argument for the
Sure,
surrender.
give me an athletics roll for the snake.
I like it doubling down.
Into the dagger blender.
That's not
The
good.
dagger fire blender.
That is a 9.
Okay, he sort of like throws it up into the air, and
Screams
he
like a tornado.
comes down randomly, thump, splut, and you see right in front of you, Spear, as you see the completely limp midsection of the body with two sort of legs just spiraling off in odd directions, and the head and arms just flapping around, and blood just pours out of the various splits in this guy's clothing. It's just a splot, literally on the ground. Sickeningly thudding to the floor. You
that
quite
me?
done, August? Or you something else to do?
Just taking. I'm actually gonna. The snake's gonna move
Mhm.
and interpose itself between these guys, basically providing cover for the people behind the door. Oh, I know. Wait, it's gonna stick its tail in Buddy for starters.
That's so it's gonna move. What's its movement?
30.
Alright, so it extends itself from this point. It can still be here and stick its
Yeah.
tail in Buddy.
Okay. But yeah, basically, I want to give these people cover from the impending arrows.
Okay, so you start to wind yourself around here, and that way you'll be able to give Sarya cover.
What impending arrows? From the top?
Well,
That's a little surrender club that I got going there.
never underestimate the stupidity of mercenaries.
First rule of surrender club is you don't talk about
That's
surrender
right.
club.
That's one. That's not a great deal. So that'll bring him. That was.
How much?
Oh, I only got 1 point down.
Okay, awesome. And are you doing anything?
I've ready my action.
Alright, awesome.
Waiting to clobber this guy if he gets stepped out.
Hurrah.
Alright. Actually, the guy that I've pinned to the roof is more or less pinned for the time
He's
being.
technically unconscious.
Oh, okay, cool. I will turn around then, and can I see... I can just do a casual walk past the window and
So you
plug one
walk
of the
past the
surrender
window?
club.
Yeah, so you walk past the window and you can see in, and you can see these three guys. Well, from your original position, you can see this guy. As
Yep.
you stroll across, you catch sight of the other three.
I
attach a
will
little
probably
bit of-
just plug the one that I can see.
You should attach a little white flag to it so they can use it.
Those guys are not
Surrender
slow
club.
motion running through a fire, let me put it that way.
So yeah, I'll plug the guy on Peril's right.
Yep.
Is he slowed or not?
This one is not. No, he didn't slow the ones
Actually,
upstairs.
do I have advantage because I'm more or less hidden?
Yes,
Okay, good.
absolutely. Especially because the
That's
fire
much
is
better.
here, they can
Yeah.
literally see nothing beyond that doorway.
Fantastic.
And even now that you've shot, they still cannot see anything beyond that doorway. 'Cause
Perfect.
the fire is just blinding any vision outside.
I hit this guy quite nicely,
Awesome.
hopefully.
What level is your pain town?
Yeah, that's 18.
That's a lot of
18
pain.
is the level of my pain town.
Oh, pain.
From one arrow.
Don't mess with nobles.
They
That's what
like
I've
that's no
There
ball.
is an important rule.
Okay, cool. So your snake moving through here also smothers this fire. Because you've cast another bonfire. Alright, cool. So how much did you hit?
Oh yes, 18 damage. As they say in Elf Town, the narrower the family tree,
Okay,
the
so
higher pain we will inflict on thee.
it's true. So you thuck into the arrow, sort of like thucks into this, turning around. He's looking down here. He was just taking a shot before at
Did you say fuck?
thuck.
He thucked him hard.
He's been skull fucked.
Skull fucked. So he just shot down here at the snake, And then suddenly an arrow hits him in the back of the neck, and he falls, crashing onto the furniture down here, lying limp on the ground. He's dead.
The surrender
So
club
the
is
old
thinning.
non-lethal option is
You
also
can-
off the table now.
What?
You can take that as your arrow.
Spear.
I told you to surrender.
Is there
I'd like to
anyone
put it out
within
there.
distance
I'm
from me?
not
I
the
can't really
first
see this.
person.
So you are here, and you're looking at. I mean, your running distance could take you to that guy
Up
at the
the
back.
stairs?
You could run around to this guy. You can go up the stairs here, and attack these guys.
Push them.
Because you're literally at the bottom of the stairs here.
Convince them hand to hand to surrender.
Try that surrender
I
thing
am
again.
going to try the surrender thing again. I am going to talk to the nearest person in as intimidating a voice that I can muster. Surrender
Stand
and we'll
up
let
here.
you live.
Behind the snake behind you,
Some
hissing.
paladin diplomacy, eh?
Some of you live.
Does the snake give advantage?
Are you? Give me a performance roll for your snake.
Come on, Charlie, you can do it, boy. He's not good.
Charlie needs a night.
He needs-
Charlie's
practice.
real busy supping on the delicious green light of healing buddy of the healing spirit over here. He's like doesn't look so intimidating now that he's all cut up and desperately looking to get healed.
Yeah.
But your intimidation roll.
13.
Okay. Okay. So this guy definitely drops his weapons and backs up. This guy sort of looks out the door and sort of drops his weapons and backs up. These guys up here, they're sort of like, they're like, okay. So what's happened up here is that the fire that you started with the bonfire has started to catch on the wattle and daub and the thatched roof.
Who could have
it's
seen this coming?
spread
Yeah, I know, right?
significantly to encompass this whole doorway now.
So has everyone surrendered or are they...
They're looking edgy and they sort of like these guys on the ground level, these two definitely surrendered. These ones are like okay.
We're not here to kill you. We just need to know where
That apple seller.
whatever this warehouse was storing has gone.
Finish that bitch off.
Yeah, definitely except the apple seller who's not relented in attacking you.
I'm ready
But
though.
We're
I'm ready.
getting there.
Trust
Is there anything else you
myself.
want to do? You want to hold this and just that's your action?
Yeah, no. I will hold an action to stop anyone from leaving though.
Okay,
So the next
yep.
time someone tries to run for a door,
Throw
I
a
will-
javelin straight at them.
Yeah, sure.
Nice.
Convince
All
them
right.
at range.
So in their turn, these guys start. The spiritual weapon hovers threateningly above them, so he just sort of like comes down the stairs a little bit, drops his weapon. This guy sort of drops his axe as well, sort of comes down the stairs. This guy comes down to about here, and he's still slowed. So they're slowly coming down the stairs,
Faster.
and this guy has to back away, avoiding the trail of avoiding all this. Also goes to come down the stairs. That's pretty much them. They're moving very slowly, very cautiously. This guy's just backing up to about here, and this guy's backing up to about here. Meanwhile, the apple lady gets a 20.
Jeez.
Oh,
It's a shame nobody saw that one coming.
Yeah. yeah.
And does
Jeez.
must have been paying her in bath salts or something.
D4, 4 points of damage with the dagger, and as the dagger sort of slides up your arm, you feel nefarious poison sink in, but you must be blessed by some kind of elven luck, for only 1 out of a 12 potential points of damage sinks into your body.
One.
It's a very shallow cut. So you take 5 points of damage
Oh,
total.
let's see.
Jeez. However, you'll want to disinfect that.
And then she runs.
Knife
So you get an attack of opportunity as she sort of like bolts away from you.
Oh, is this the time to try my...
We're not adverse to stabbing people in the back just to clear it up as an elf thing.
Pretty sure that one's undead though.
Right, maybe my bonus knifing now that it's at
Yeah, yeah.
range.
Oh, yeah.
And I get my inspiration!
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
You
Sorry.
can do this.
I can do this. 12, 5, 17.
And your, what's the 5?
That's my inspiration.
Only
dice.
D6.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, isn't it?
It's
Low
D8
level.
at a level 5 or 6, I think.
Yeah, on D6.
That should be enough to
Not
hit.
It should be
not
enough
that
to hit
it's
up.
17 on the thing. There.
Yeah.
Plus.
17.
17
No,
to
but
hit.
no,
Plus-
no,
That
no,
hits.
balances out.
Because it takes it
Not
away.
plus dex.
But I get-
anymore.
So
Well,
17
it
hits.
17
Yep.
hits.
Roll damage.
Woo! Oh, now I've got to figure out how to do that.
1d4
So your
plus.
normal damage plus 15.
16.
16. A nice round 16.
Points of damage.
Yeah.
Serious?
Pretty
It
huge.
was
It's
the
a very
bonus
precise
knifing.
dagger.
It was my bonus knifing.
Oh, yes.
Oh, sharpshooter.
And do you
Yeah.
get the
But that's not a
bonus-
melee. You only get the bonus damage at range. That's a ranged attack.
That was.
Oh.
She was running away, wasn't she?
Okay.
It's an
No, it
attack
was
of opportunity.
Has
as
to
she
be
walks
melee.
Oh,
past.
that's
so
right,
then
sorry.
that was 6 points of damage.
6
I was
points.
gonna say,
And
jeez.
then when she gets slightly further away.
Then I'll go again, but I won't be as inspired.
No, you are not nearly inspired. So she takes some damage, a little cut. You notice that as she moves away, as you cut her on the face, she does not bleed.
Zombies.
Going real loud.
And fine. No, that was them. And now it's back to top of the round, guys.
Do I see Apple Lady running?
Give me a perception roll.
Surely she's not bleeding.
18.
Yeah.
I'm going to move my spiritual weapon closer to me, like just down to the bottom of the stairs.
Yep. So 20 foot. It comes down to. You can get to about here.
Yep,
Next to Charlie.
that'll be great. I'm then gonna back out the door, and where that lady is running, I'm gonna cast
Can I go through that body?
go
So
through, buddy.
these corners here are actually all whole buildings that sort of run across.
Okay. Can I see? She's in my line of sight.
She's your line of sight, yeah.
I'm gonna cast guiding bolt.
Nice.
Mm.
All right, cool.
So that would be 21 to hit.
Brutal.
Mm.
All right.
Um, and then that's 4d6.
All right, so you come out here and you shoot at her down here. How much damage?
12.
12 radiant.
12 radiant damage.
Okay. And she crumbles to the ground, falling to pieces as she hits the floor.
I need this disinfectant.
Oh,
Unicorn.
okay, I think I get out my
Unicorn.
healing thing.
No healing kits. We need a unicorn.
Bernard,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
No stitches. Clearly.
Bernard. Bernard.
So you're around here at the
I
moment?
point out to the slow.
Dispel the fire.
Sure, you
As a
dispel your
bonus
bonfire.
The fire.
And then I.
There's still a lot of fire up there, Bernard.
There's nothing I can do about that. That is non-magical fire. And then I stroll into the room, brandishing the wand of wonder, menacingly, making my grand archmage entrance. The
Finally.
snake is somehow going to have to deal with the fire. The snake is
Are
putting out
you-
all sorts of fires.
You want me to try and put out a house fire with a giant snake?
Huge snake? Yes, exactly correct. But no, that's all I'm doing. I'm strolling in and like I'm inspecting
Yeah,
the
yeah.
scene.
Alright, cool. So Thea? What do you have to do? Ladies just run away from you.
But she just disintegrated.
That is correct.
I don't need to worry about her anymore. Oh, I'm gonna go stand near.
Did you
The
put
body-
your healing on?
Uh-huh. So you take another d6 points of health.
I know regular buddy's good, but like healing buddy is
better.
also pretty good.
What's left?
Well,
lots of
these
stuff
two
in the
guys
room.
have surrendered. These two guys are like surrendering. They're coming down the stairs.
Yeah, I
Well,
don't
three
think I need
guys
to-
surrendering.
I think I don't need to hit anything else. Surely.
I mean, their options are kind of limited with regard to escape. Spear's kind of in the center here, and
Is this? Oh,
These
what I want
guys
to know
are-
is this the
Come down
warehouse
to
that
about
I
here.
saw in my?
this is not the warehouse you saw in your vision.
This is not the warehouse that I saw.
Good to know.
Jeez.
How was I to know until we got here?
Is the warehouse that you did see within 1,000 feet? Because I'd
Probably.
like to search. I'd like to drop that in this.
Okay, so they've all surrendered.
They've all surrendered. This
Uh,
fire is
but-
spreading.
Can we?
I want to try and put that out
Do we have any
with the snake
Yes.
to prevent the.
Sorry, do you have any rope?
The whole.
There's plenty of
Gotta
rope in
clear
this
out the
room.
other
There's lots of
warehouse,
bits and
right?
pieces of rope just lying around. There's lots of
Can you clear
odds
the
and ends in
dagger
this room.
Turn it off.
It only lasts a minute, right? The dagger cloud.
By that place, this place will be in more flame than.
So you spin the dagger cloud into the flames
Disintegrate it.
to try and dissipate it as best as possible.
Oh,
And then
tornado of
you're running the
flames and daggers.
snake into
Not-
the flames
Not
to
into
try
the
and...
dagger cloud, no.
No,
No?
my dagger.
No, I'm totally
cloud.
riding that snake up into the flaming dagger cloud.
Okay, so we had this conversation earlier. It's actually very hard to ride a snake.
You need a saddle.
It's very hard to saddle a snake as well. They're a mass of muscle moving through a layer of fat underneath
You need magic.
a scaled skin. Yeah, you
Like
need
a-
something
I
super
can
fancy.
Like a
Push
hat
my
sack.
dagger
Pretty
cloud
good
out
bridle.
the window.
Look,
And then a.
yeah, if you
Right
made a
neck.
bridle,
Oh, that'd be
a bit and bridle that fit on its head, then you could, Bernard, you could ride on its head.
I cast spider cloud.
Yeah, possibly the spider climb too.
But it really should be called snake
So,
cloud,
shall we
right?
collect? So we need to know where the other warehouse is.
Is
We
it
do.
possible?
We-
I
I'm
am.
assuming you're all members of the
I'm
Purple Finch
concerned about this fire.
Association.
Yes, is the fire still happening?
Well,
Yes,
we
the
need
fire
to-
is
I
still
think
happening.
this-
There's just like
Alright,
a.
can we
Could,
get
can you
out of
move
here?
that cloud of
No,
daggers,
no.
Theater?
If this
I
is,
could move them out the window.
Okay,
this
so
is-
you're
this is
gonna.
a
Presumably
tightly
there's no
packed
one
Can we
city.
just stop concentrating?
Yeah, I could probably just stop concentrating,
Yeah.
right, and get rid of them that way.
Perfect.
Yeah, cool. Cloud's gone.
That's much easier.
Can I attempt
Probably
to
I'm
put-
distracted by this poison.
Give it
Section
another
to my body.
6. Attempt to put that fire out by smothering it with the snake.
Okay, snake rolls into the fire. Roll a.
Snake over fire.
Just give me a percentile roll. Let's see how we go.
I'm giving it D8 points of fire damage, right?
Yeah. It's also gonna take
65.
65. All right. So it takes 7 points of fire damage. It's about half put out the fire at this point.
It's not bad.
But it looks like, as well, the bits of flaming debris
Oh,
You're on
Jesus
the roof.
Christ.
no.
We've started
being
a fire.
scattered
No
I'm not
ability
tied to
quench
this roof.
fires?
onto the roof of this building.
Can you weed out?
I'm gonna
I
try
will,
and put that
before
out
we
with
came-
prestige. Like as things are flying over the top of Burner, because we're out of combat rounds.
Yeah.
As things are coming out of that window,
So you're down here and you're like,
Augustus is going to
You're a
be
one-man
putting them
fire
out.
break.
Yeah, we really don't want to start a hovel fire.
Yeah. So I'm going
We
to try to put them out as they
have.
come out.
We just don't.
And if I need to, I'll
Otherwise,
climb
yeah,
up on that roof and.
At this point, these guys have seen the fire, and they
Good,
start
get the
giving a crowd,
fire.
fire,
Oh, thank
fire!
goodness.
And a cry goes out, and you see more
Thank goodness
civilians
for a well-stocked
start
city
to
watch.
sort of come together and
Get out.
look together. Pieces of people clear out of this building,
Yep.
clear out of other buildings.
Okay,
They're
we
trying
need
to-
to get.
We can
at
stop.
least-
We got rounds, right?
We need to at least get the people who we have now have are prisoners or something. We need to get.
Them
We
out.
came here for a
Yeah,
reason.
let's all
we
go
need to
for
find
a
out where
walk.
this warehouse is. There's rope around. Let's tie these guys up.
Yep.
Take them away from this area.
Let's all
let
go
other
for a
people
walk.
deal
Spear,
with
catch
this.
this guy. I'll roll him off the edge of the thing after pinching his awesome-looking bow.
rolling him off the edge.
I'm
will
going
kill
to
him.
Spear,
go-
catch.
I guess I am going to somehow know
The
from
spear's
inside.
Okay, yes.
Somebody
whatever, yeah.
catch.
So you're rolling this guy off the building. So the people get the fire under control. You guys
Get
tie
them
up
together.
these guys. Yes.
Yes.
At some point during the tying up process, they attempt an escape.
Okay.
And in all the confusion, with you guys trying to fight the fire and stuff like that, they make a chance. But we're just going to make a contested roll. All right. So who wants to roll against the first one?
Are we rolling anything or just
Yeah.
random?
1d20 against me and my
dice are
d20.
cursed.
Yeah, go for it.
Just go for it.
Why not? Take that.
Did
Enjoy
you
your
get higher
freedom.
than a natural 20?
No.
So one guy managed to slip his bonds.
He
and
wanted
escape.
it more.
Okay, who wants to roll against the second one?
I will shall roll against the second one. 12 on my die.
All right, you catch him and manage to hey, pull out your dagger.
buddy.
Look, my guy's unconscious. Did my bit.
Yep. So then there's
Still
this
got
one.
away.
I will. Get good.
18.
Not even
Wow.
a chance. You watching him too tightly for him even to get an opportunity. This
Sorry,
one.
it's
You've kept a
professional.
hostage
Yeah.
before.
What did you say to him? Sorry.
7.
Yeah, this guy's just like, you like look around and it's like you're controlling the snake.
I'm
and then
looking
it's like,
at how many here. I'm like, okay, yeah.
You're not gonna run away, are you, buddy? Okay, thanks,
Okay, we
man.
got it. We got it.
And last one.
Done.
You go.
You're up and bad rolling.
6. I don't know if you could be
19. He also manages to
Jeez,
slip
these
away.
guys.
God, we
That's
have done
crazy.
Y'all know these
awfully.
guys. They
Yeah,
they
need
are
one
good.
body.
These are
They are well trained. They are
spent.
well equipped. They
They attacked
are
twice.
not.
Less well.
Yeah, they are obviously good. But regardless of all of that, you have 1 unconscious and 2 conscious prisoners that you take away from the situation.
And they're awesome.
I will turn Charlie back into Stick Charlie.
Back into Stick Charlie.
Mm.
Okay. Charlie turns into a stick.
I'll grab some healing, buddy, if I can.
Yeah, everyone, quick run through healing buddy. We only got him for another 30 seconds.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
Regardless, you
It'll
all
dance
sort of
around.
work together and work with the people, and you put out the fires that have started on other buildings. And a random citizen just sort of says, "What was all of that about?"
They didn't pay their bill.
Oh, well, it's totally unacceptable in this town, especially in a siege situation like this. Everyone really needs to chip in and do their part.
That's right.
Yes.
Great help on putting
So
out that
excited.
fire, fellas.
Yeah. While we're tying them up, can we like search them for?
Yes. So upon searching them, you find that they all carry this poison. You find 6 doses in total of this particularly strong poison. Anyone? You also find between them about 50 gold pieces. You see that one of them has... They all seem to be well kept and well looked after. They're not poor people. They have a few scars from dueling, but their clothes are well kept, well maintained, and high quality. Upon one of them, you find a signet ring.
Oh.
He's not wearing it though. He has it in a pouch, secreted in his coin pouch. He's wrapped it in a wax cloth and hidden it away in his coin pouch, in the hope that no one will find it. Upon all of them, you find a single silver coin-sized medallion. Well, essentially it's a coin with a hole drilled in it, of one size or another. Some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller, but they all have a finch on them. Apart from that, 3 compound bows. So so these are long bows, but they're recurved bows. They're very well made. They do the damage of a long bow, but don't take up the same space.
That looks nice and compact for noble deeds.
Yeah, they're very nice. They're sort of like a really dark, sort of
Yeah,
black and
human,
deep
man.
brown sort of color with
Yeah.
Look,
very
you've got to
simple.
appreciate craftsmanship.
No, they're very well made.
Not
The
like
axes
weird
themselves,
bells.
whether or not they're hand axes or great axes, are all
Some of
again,
them
simple
pretty school.
but very well made. All like sort of ironwood handles and well forged blades with you can see the ripples of the layers of carbonization in the steel going down to a very sharp
This is
finish.
a professional team. They have
This
been outfitted well.
Definitely been
Got
outfitted.
to be at least flattered.
Do any of them look like they have more seniority than the others, or?
But this one has the signet ring with
What
a
does the
coat of
signet
arms
ring
on
look
it.
like?
It's got a coat of arms on it. Anyone with history?
Yeah.
Well,
History
yes.
and the heraldry.
That's a shame.
I'll help you investigate.
Woo!
that.
20.
Go with it.
Nice.
That event 20 there, that's fine.
You're like, I remember that guy. Once upon a time, in our troop, when we were traveling through Waterdeep, we had some of the young nobles used to come around and they'd do business with some of the various young gentlemen and ladies in our troop after hours. And you recognize that coat of arms. Not this guy in particular, but maybe it was one of his brothers from that family. It's the Winchester family from Waterdeep. They're a sort of middle-level noble clan, a noble house from Waterdeep.
Oh, any signet ring brings you some political charisma.
Oh yeah.
Well, also we have the guy still that's attached to it.
Yeah. Look, if you give me a little bit more time to recuperate, I can probably go a little bit deeper into.
While you're recuperating, we can just start asking him some questions.
I need a long rest.
So I guess we'll start talking to this guy.
You just need to do
So I take it you're all members
intimidating.
of the Purple Finch Association?
They seem tight-lipped at the moment.
Maybe they just need some time to...
They're like, pause. Pause. Hey, I'm alright. I'm just filming with people at the moment. Yep. Alright, thanks. So, we're gonna unpause. 4, 3, 2, 1. I'd like you guys to talk amongst yourselves about stuff that's just happened for a little bit. Like maybe 30 seconds. Go.
I have to say I'm pretty proud of that snake. It does the business. I think big snakes in small rooms can be one of our signature moves.
MVS.
I think judicious use of cantrips.
Turns out bonfires on lower floors, upper floors.
Depends what effect we're after.
I don't know, I think I panicked. I don't know if I was quite ready. I don't know if I'm ready for this.
Look. It's your first time. You just got to go with the flow.
Was that your first combat?
Well...
Was that the first time you murdered
We
someone?
kind of did some of the war stuff,
Self-defense,
but not
somebody.
a great deal. It was more on the outskirts.
In fact, she barely self-defensed anybody.
Yeah.
Was there who murdered? It was just the snake, right?
So,
Yeah, nobody
destined for
murdered
greatness, huh?
Thank you.
Apparently.
I murdered someone.
No, that was undead.
I don't feel like I've earned it
It's
yet.
not murder. We
Why?
established that one.
Yeah, I think we're pretty clear.
Different
That's just right and wrong.
stage of
Nobody
life.
shot
That
anybody in the
apple
back of the
lady-
head.
You
Disappeared.
redissed them.
Yes,
Like-
they did. Oh, so are you poisoned?
Yeah, currently not feeling great.
Oh,
Oh,
let
I-
me
we
tempt
need-
you with a healing kit.
Oh, no,
I'll
we
do
need-
it.
no,
I
no,
did
we need the
mention it
unicorn
several
horn.
times.
Oh,
I
unicorn
think I
horn.
will use
Yeah.
a charge of the unicorn horn, which I think now there's 6 left.
That's
Thank
okay.
you.
You
Recharge.
feel
Yes, there's 5 left.
cleansed
Oh, I feel
in a
so
way
much
that you've never
better.
felt before.
I'm
Ooh, I feel
gonna
so
start
much
questioning
good,
one
right?
of these people by
Yes.
shining the light in
So,
his eyes.
in the effort, so the people are still putting out the fires, like they're just like going around, they're double checking to make sure all the fire has been put out. Thankfully, you drawn a bunch of attention to this place before. You realize that you probably wouldn't have been able to put out all the fires without their help. But
It's lucky.
in spite of the siege, like the community seems to have a pretty comprehensive fire system. But there are a lot of people now gathering around the place and talking to you guys, asking like what happened. Oh, they didn't pay their taxes.
No, it's arsonists. Arsonists. I'm spreading
Arsonists?
like multiple different rumours. Everyone's got. My story is that they were arsonists.
Okay, cool. And what are you telling them, Spear?
What am I telling them?
To members of the general public, oh, what happened here? What went on? Oh, we've put out all the fires. I mean,
It
thankfully
seems a fire
you
was
guys were here
started.
to draw attention to it. Well, they say that you guys ran into this building and started a fight with the people in there. Is that true?
Is this the time to clear up and be honest?
Not with the public. No, the intricacies of.
Actually,
What?
noble
Well, you're not going
business.
to be public with us? You're not going to be honest with us? What do you
Intricacies
mean?
of the intricacies of noble business aren't for the public.
when I arrived, there was
What?
already
You
a fire
tell-
there. I'm being
Oh no, I
honest.
saw you come
There
over
was.
here.
When I walked in, there was a fire there.
You're getting into it. Half true.
I realized also I didn't lie to them about the food.
Roughly how
I just
many people
didn't
are there?
agree with them when they said things. So.
Like about 30 people.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah, it's a lot of people. And
We believe that this warehouse has been used for some nefarious purposes.
Oh,
Do any
okay.
of you know anything about the owners
It's
of
been
the goods here?
no, it's been shut up for years.
Shut up for
Not for
years,
years. Sorry,
you
shut up for months. So local, I live across the road. So someone's like just wearing a nightgown and a nightcap and some big barefoot slippers, and there's there's people moving stuff in and out. 6 months ago, people were still here, but it's been quiet ever since then.
That's interesting.
You know.
Has
Not
anyone...
much has been going on. I haven't seen anything, or maybe a few bits and pieces, but not up until just before you guys came. Then a couple of big carts came along with 3 whole wagons, huge ones. They loaded them up and they all shipped off somewhere.
Oh, did you see which direction they went in? Or anything
To
about
the
those
north.
wagons?
Oh, the north side of the town, but you know, then you guys bust in here. We didn't even know there were still people in there.
It's part of the trading problem at the moment. We're trying to sort it out.
Trading problem? These people, you said they weren't paying their taxes, is that right?
Bills.
Bills. Weren't paying their bills? So who do you work for?
Needless
You
to
work
say,
for the
there is a
owners?
reward offered for any useful information about where those carts
Oh,
went.
a reward.
Absolutely.
Oh, did you hear that? What's your... Jerry, did you hear? See what those was? Maybe.
Reasonable tips only. Please speak with the Archmage.
Oh, could have
and the
gone
Lord.
anywhere. I mean, they looked a bit fancy, so maybe they were going over to the fancy side of town. They're not getting
Gotta
out of the
look
city.
at 'em.
By
Did you?
fancy, what do you mean?
Well, they're all well dressed, you know. They weren't just your average cart driver. I mean,
Snappy
Jimmy
beard.
works for the car company. Yeah, I work for the cart company. I drive carts around all the time, but they didn't look like any of the regular teamsters and stevedores who load and unload stuff around here. Looked like a bunch of young nobles slumming it, pretending to be fancy. We were all dock workers around here, you know. We know our kind. They weren't them.
Have you ever heard of the Purple Finch Association?
Oh,
Ring any bells?
I'm out. Jeez, all these big words.
Did one of these slumming it nobles was he
Yeah,
wearing a
he
headband
doesn't
by
know
any
too much.
chance?
I'm the thinker here.
You're the thinker, you
You're
say.
the one I need to talk to. Archmage Witch Kicked. How's it going, sir?
Oh, Archmage doesn't shake your hand.
You didn't happen to get a good look at that one of those guys? We're looking for a guy with a circlet, some kind of headband, a golden thing, and a severe look, jaunty.
Jaunty.
Like a
Oh, you might want to go to the red light district.
no.
There's lots of jaunty characters there.
Not jaundice, haughty. Just like a noble with a severe beard and a scowl. Looked like he was constantly unimpressed.
Ah, now they were all young folk.
Young, was it?
How young?
Oh, you know,
Oh, what about
15,
I describe
20,
Oren Hess.
20, mid-20s.
Oren Hess. I describe Oren Hess. He was recently.
Give me a wisdom roll. Wisdom perception. See if you can describe him.
You know, that human guy with the pants.
They all look alike.
Oh, yeah, I saw a human guy.
You did!
You're on the right track.
You guys help pack up these other. I'm going to talk with these guys. We've got some good leads here. Pants, you say?
Okay.
Tell me about the pants.
Pants. Oh yeah, they were like black and they had to.
You're older than that one. So
Oh no, they were like cut down at the knees, like high cut. And they started having those, those slashes
I look for something
with
to
the
take
white,
notes, I guess.
with the
You need to
white
do it like a
puffs
sketch.
coming through. They were like real
I'm taking
fancy.
notes.
Yeah.
I realised I didn't actually pay anything
Hose.
attention to
Black
what Oren Hess
hose
was wearing.
and black pants. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. All right, cool. Anyway, so the crowd is reasonably dissipated. They seem reasonably sure that you're under wraps. And at this point, a bunch of guard come along and they're like, some kind of commotion. Oh yeah, and they sort of just start pointing in your general direction, immediately pointing to Spear.
You got
It's a
this.
shiny armor. You can do it.
If they walk over, I give them like a raised eyebrow, like a, hey,
What
you
is-
got a familiarity thing.
I feel like
they're
this is,
they're not the same
bardic
ones.
inspiration,
These are different. They must be local to this area.
Stories.
Hey, what's going on here? We heard there was a fire and some commotion with these. You got some people tied up here. What's this all about?
I'm going to inspire you. I
Thanks.
remember your training.
Gonna be Lord Brian Wentworth.
Okay, give me a roll with advantage performance.
Oh yeah, take another
19.
one. It can get better.
Oh,
Nice.
16. 19.
And bardic
Plus
inspiration. if you want to use it
inspiration.
on
Plus
that.
2. What's bardic inspiration?
Roll
Six for me.
1d6.
Here we go, and
Plus a 1.
Round
So
out the
19,
dice.
20, 20,
Two.
2.
oh, they sort of bow to you. Go, my lord.
We have reason to believe that this warehouse has been used for criminal activity.
Oh, is this your warehouse, my lord?
Sure, whatever.
My family has connections to this warehouse. My father stopped trading with the folk who work here because he felt that what they were doing was nefarious.
Oh, well, that's absolutely terrible. And these men were breaking into your warehouse? You know you men are in big trouble. And then he's like, they're quiet. They've stayed completely quiet this whole time, these three guys.
They're tough nuts. They need interrogation.
We're concerned they've stolen some goods from this warehouse and transported them elsewhere. Some of
Oh, have you
the
got
citizens around have said they saw them
Again.
unload wagons
I'm
and
tapped
things and took them
I'm too
away.
tired.
Oh, that's absolutely
Injury.
terrible. That's absolutely terrible. I'm
Just
sorry.
really
And so,
sad.
perhaps you can come down to the guardhouse with us, and we can take some notes. Do you know who these people were?
We think they might be associated with an association called the Purple Finch.
Give me an insight roll.
Sure.
May others do insight also?
No, others are busy.
5.
Cool.
Not very insightful.
So
So I don't know that he's colluding with them.
He's like, well, look, we'll take them. Best they not be stuck in the middle of the street here. You've tied them up good. We'll just take them onto the station or to the guardhouse. Do you want to come with us?
Yeah, I think maybe we do. We were meeting some other guards down at the Axe's Embrace, right?
Yes.
And the shift and all that.
Yeah, well, it's getting close. It's like just hit midnight now.
We was meeting Edward down there. He's going to head home before 1, so we can't be too long.
Yeah, we'll come with you to the guardhouse to secure these criminals.
All right, so he's like, very well, let's keep on going. I mean, everything, we'll post a guard here to just make sure nobody else gets into the place. Did you want to close up or anything before we went on our way?
Yes, we do want to close up. Can I just hang back and take a last search around the warehouse?
Why don't you guys stay back and we'll escort the guards and the prisoners up to the watch house you need us up.
Yeah.
Actually do take some time to do a proper search of this place.
That sounds great. I think that's an excellent
It's a
idea.
little bit party splitty and a little bit low stakes party split.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys separate. You go
Good
on
luck
your way.
with your lies and the police.
Spear and Bernard and
I will go with
Thea head off to go to the guardhouse
Keep
to
you
have a chat with
in
them.
check.
And Peral and Sire and August take the time to thoroughly go over. So one person can make a roll of advantage, an investigation roll, to look over
How
this
are we looking
place.
for investigation?
No, I'm -1.
Oh.
So
+1.
Well, I'll do it. Stand aside, I
I'm your
can screw this
perception
up
guy.
myself. Yeah, that'll be a 13.
Okay. And you
You've
guys
got
were
a
helping
professional-
him?
work.
Did you have that inspiration from before? That sweet
Uh,
egg yolk that we
Extra
had from her?
inspiration from the cheese.
Yes.
No.
The cheese-spiration.
D8 on it,
Cheese.
right?
Oh, the
Inspiration.
cheese-spiration.
Yeah.
16.
Is that what that
Okay,
was?
so it's really the three of you putting stuff together. You see that a bunch
Guys,
of
work with me.
loading. There are a few things that you recognize. One, you see a couple of empty barrels that have the distinct trademarks of the Coopers on them. So they're barrels that were made in Ellsdale. These barrels, however, do not look like they have held any liquid in them. Or if they did, liquids, well, yeah. You find 3 barrels of wine that is still intact. You do your 10 minutes, do a test on it. It's not infected, it's just good wine.
Taste test is
So
good.
there's
How-
this is the really nice wine from Ellsdale that
Barrels
they were
or-
making. Barrels. No, barrels, the full barrels. Like the full size, so like 44 gallon barrels.
That's alright, I'll turn into a horse. We can take it with us.
Even a horse, you wouldn't be able to
Hug the
take
barrel.
a
Oh,
Stay
Druid
on.
of Holding. We can...
Druid of holding.
Road of holding.
Here we go.
If you can lift a 44 gallon barrel,
We just need to roll it on top of him.
Yeah.
Take the damage. Take the damage. Healing buddy. Healing buddy.
and apart from that, you do find a smashed wooden cask, smashed wooden crate with bits of straw and loose materials strewn around, and it looks like it was dropped when it was being taken out because there are a bunch of small broken glass vials, and the rest of it is just full of empty glass vials. These are all empty glass vials.
Oh, so
essentially.
there's no
These
liquid.
didn't come from Ellsdale. They weren't on the registers of things coming over here or being sent to Mirabar,
The vial's the same.
New product.
but they
Same
are the
shape?
same shape and size as the vials that were being used for the stamina potions. So you're assuming that potentially between the large barrels that have been sent up and the small vials that have come here, that there is probably some plan to decant the large barrels of stamina potion, these smaller barrels, and then distribute them in some way, shape.
But we
or
would
form.
know what the vials looked like from that thing based on these tests.
That is correct. And we're going to end game there, guys.
The trail goes cold as things heat up, and time is running out for the 3rd Daggerford irregulars as the fickle hand of fate grips tight on the exposed neck of Mirabar. Will the city fall to corruption, or can the irregulars seize the day? Find out next time on The Siege of Mirabar. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button to stay abreast of all future releases from Tabletop Dynasties.